nothing
and I'm nothing like a spider, and I like sweets, so they can't like sweets.
Yeah.
But he threw the table.
I respectfully disagree, ma'am.
I'm respectively not disagreeing.
Respectively.
I didn't throw the fucking table. According to
You
her,
threw
the
it.
table threw itself on the
Oh,
ground.
yeah.
No! You threw the table. I just dropped it because I didn't know what you
That
were
is not the
doing.
story you just told us. You just told us that the table threw itself on the ground.
Yes, after you chucked it.
So did I throw it on the ground or did the table
Gravity
do it to
did.
itself? Had nothing to do with you, apparently. You might as well have not even been holding the table. The table just
Really?
threw itself on
Then
the ground.
next time you need to move the table, you can do it by yourself.
I probably would have had more luck.
How were you going to get it down the alley?
I don't know. Pushed it. It has wheels.
Does it?
Mhm.
That's
And we
nice.
got a brand new alley, so I don't see an issue.
It's still going to get scratched up, genius.
The alley or the table? Because the table's pretty fucked up anyway. Especially after you dropped it.
I was gonna say, I'm sure it looks like $1 million after it got dropped. And I met your dad a couple of times, and what he does with dinged up furniture is he redoes it,
That's what.
Or I'll just
that's-
keep using it. I
or
don't
he
care.
just puts like a cover on it or
Yeah.
something. I mean,
I don't give a
Listen.
fuck.
So was it dropped or
He-
chucked?
It was dropped. It was dropped. It was dropped.
Because I'm hearing
it's a
two
saga
different.
now.
I'm
I went
hearing
to turn
two
around and
different
it was on the
theories.
ground. I was like, what the fuck?
I heard that the table
Listen,
was on it
listen,
and it
Karen,
threw itself. That's
Karen.
what I heard.
Karen, the theory is.
There's a
all
theory
right?
now, okay?
The theory is, whenever Dad let go, he knew what he was doing. He was like, "Oh, she can't handle this," and then like lifted his arm really fast, like
So
he
it was
was
done with
gonna,
malice,
like
is
he
what
was
you're
gonna
saying?
drop it, and it's uneven. You know how I explained that?
Mhm.
So
No,
the
no,
one
even. It's a
side
fucking
got
table.
Just
Mhm.
shut up. And the one side got a little heavier. So the girl out there, I don't know who she was.
So
But she just let go because she was like, I'm not losing my fingers over this. And this bozo.
So now Madison wasn't
It's
even
all
there.
his
It was some other
I
person.
heard that. The story changes every time I hear it.
Yeah. Ever-changing stories from Madison.
Just so you guys
Well, it
know,
wasn't
you'll
my
see
fault.
this
That
famous
hasn't
table
changed.
because I think it's going to be put here somewhere.
If you ask her again tomorrow, I guarantee you it's going to be, I wasn't there, aliens came in, smacked it out of Dad's hands, and that
Remind me
other
tomorrow, I'm
person.
going to text the group chat and be like, tell me about this table.
Listen, listen, the aliens came in, they like zapped me up to their like weird spaceship place, right?
Uh-huh.
This is
And
more
it, like,
believable than what she
listen,
said
shut
before.
up. And they froze time and they switched their alien like face morphing people out with me, like and everything. And then they came down and they were like, he's about to turn. Boom. Drops it on purpose, okay?
Them
They're
sons
like,
of bitches.
oh,
It's the worst
that was a
science
close
fiction
one.
story
It
ever.
almost hit this this
Marty McFly's was a
I
hell
was
of a
going to
lot
say,
better.
was his
It
name Darth
almost-
Vader?
it almost hit this human's vehicular vehicle thing. And
Vehicular vehicle.
I think she's still an alien. She's talking awful weird.
oh, I never said that they put me back.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're probing
So
her.
you're telling-
They're probing her as we speak. Man, this one's
Next
full. This one really is full of that brown doo-doo shit that comes out of their ass.
Next week, I'll be like, Madison, is that really you?
I don't know. Does it look like it?
Why is this one so gassy?
Because there's a lot of air in there too.
Yeah,
Spacehead.
yeah, we know. I gotta tie anchors around her feet just to keep her from floating away.
I have weights upstairs to go around my ankles. They're 2 pounds, just enough to keep me on the ground.
That's good. That's real good.
Remember when Mr. Mackey got high? Fucking head floated off his shoulders. He's like,
Yeah.
hey kid, drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad. Drugs are
Drugs
bad,
are
okay?
Drugs bad.
But
Drugs
case in
bad.
point, my story never changed. It never was my fault.
Okay.
I heard at
anyway,
least 3 different iterations.
now the story
but in
time
every
with
iteration, it was never my fault.
now that story time
So,
with
it's gotta
Madison
prove
is
something.
over.
You're over.
Welcome back.
Cancer.
We are the Bonsai Movie Show.
Hello.
Forget about them socials every week. Same shit, same place. Down below in the description. Jeremiah's here. As you know, Eric is out of sick days. He's now using points. He's not here this week, so Jeremiah's filling in.
How many points do we get?
Huh?
How many points do we get? And do they?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Do they accumulate year over year? Because I've got a shit ton. If
Yeah,
that's
are we
case.
building up vacation days?
Yeah, like
and shit?
we must be building up vacation days. I think.
Yeah, me and you, we've got like probably 3 weeks of vacation saved up.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Mine doesn't count. I gotta go to my mom's every other week. Used to.
No,
Yeah.
we don't count that. That's sort of a court-ordered scenario.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, that'd be like.
We ain't fighting the law because the law will win.
Yeah, that'd be like if Jeremiah went to jail tomorrow and was like, well, he still gets out for like work release, right?
He's also a volunteer.
Depends on how long I'm in there for, though.
If it's just a weekend stint.
Yeah, if it's just a weekend thing, then no. Or like I imagine a week. I don't know how that works. I've never been to jail.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
I'd
imagine
have to
that
ask my
work release is
stepdad.
probably 6 monthers plus.
I think it's I think
Long
it's-
term. It would have to be a long term thing. I
Oh,
would think,
yeah,
but-
but
I don't think
know
I don't think
the-
it matters because either way, I know whenever you're in jail and if you have work release, you have to pay for work release.
Do you really?
Yeah, you got to pay to have work release in jail.
Oh.
So you got to give them so much money every week to be on work release. Ain't
So I
that
gotta
fucked
pay
up?
to work.
Yeah, right. But you got to pay. Really, you're paying to keep your job more than anything. Because if you're in jail for X amount of time, they're like, well, he hasn't been here for 30
Is
days.
this like
so
a voluntary program? Because I feel like I'd be like, nah. I'll
just bring me my laptop.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll be like, no, I'll just
What are you doing? Why are you giving me the other one?
She's got you both of them.
What are you doing?
I think she's trading you for table stuff.
Whatever. Anyway.
No, I think that if it was like a voluntary thing, I'd be like one of those people that's like, nah, I think
Nah,
I'll
I'm
just sit
good.
here and
I'm sure
not
my
work.
job will still be there when I get out.
And if it isn't, I'll just reapply and probably get it again. I'm just gonna sit here and not have a job while I'm in here, free
Not me.
food. And
Well, there was that
free-
one dude every day when I worked there. He's like, "Yeah, this is my 5th time here. I just keep quitting, and they just keep hiring me back." It's like,
Jesus.
hey, he did it like
Because
5
they're
times.
fucking desperate.
Yeah, it's like 5
They're-
times. I'm like, why though?
It's not a very good place.
Like, if you quit once because you hate the fucking job, why would you reapply?
5
because
times.
it's the only place.
Yeah.
Isn't
It's
that
the only
what
place
Crystal
you can
works?
smoke weed while you're working.
Yeah, probably.
That's a bonus, I guess, for some people.
For
Dude,
the kind
that-
of people that quit and go back 5 times.
Or
I'm
the
sure.
people
That
who
parking
like
lot
to smoke
smelled
weed.
like weed every fucking day.
People who can't give it up, that's a good place to go. Get a paycheck and you get to be high all the time.
Why are we advertising?
We're not.
Okay.
Fuck
No,
that
that's
place.
not an advertisement.
Don't
that
do
I would
drugs.
because
Don't
then
do
the only
drugs,
people, the only people
okay?
that
Except weed's
get
not
screwed.
a drug, so do weed, not cocaine
Yeah.
Woo!
or crack or.
I'm glad you
heroin.
said that because I was
Or-
really thinking about it.
Yeah, weed is not a drug; it's a plant.
Thanks, guys. Thanks,
So
Jeremiah.
is
You just said my
cocaine.
dad.
Shh. That's
They're not
I was waiting for
supposed-
somebody else to
They're
bring
not
that up.
supposed to know that.
Anyway, I got a little bit of internet stuff. Where's my phone? Give me my phone, you moron.
I didn't even notice it. Is that what she was doing when she was
She
fucking
was
rearranging
fucking around. I don't know
everything?
what she was doing.
I thought she was just trading shit out.
I actually swiped that a long time.
So
before.
I got a couple things. This is more news, I guess, than internet stuff. I don't have pictures or videos or nothing. So they're thinking about bringing Jonathan Majors back to Disney or to the Marvel stuff to play Kang.
Okay.
So, like, would you stop messing with stuff? Good fucking lord! Why do I put myself through this every week? Why? Why? I'm going bald. I'm graying. When are you leaving?
July 2nd?
You don't even get to do 4th of July?
No.
You gotta go?
No.
Now Frank's on the fucking ground. Thanks
Oh,
to you.
no.
Anyway,
Well, what did he do to you?
He steals my spot during the summer, so he can stay on the floor for all I care.
Oh.
anyway, so they're talking about possibly bringing him back. I'll read you guys. This is from Yahoo News because they're credible.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, Marvel Studios is reportedly reconsidering bringing back Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. According to a recent report by Screen Geek, studio head Kevin Feige is contemplating Majors' return to properly conclude Kang's storyline in a future Marvel project. The news comes after Marvel Studios severed ties with the actor in December 2023, Following his conviction on 2 misdemeanor charges related to a March 2023 incident involving his former girlfriend, Grace Jabari. This legal outcome led to significant restructuring within the MCU's overarching narrative, including the rebranding of Avengers Kang Dynasty to Avengers Doomsday and the introduction of Doctor Doom as a new antagonist. Despite these major shifts, Marvel is reportedly weighing its options regarding Major's return, which could allow the studio to address unresolved plot lines surrounding Kang. So, I'm on board with bringing back Jonathan Majors. He was not found guilty. It was settled. I don't know if it was settled outside of court or if they just found him not guilty. I don't remember.
How about this? We quit canceling people before they're tried.
Exactly. But that's Disney for you. They don't want any bad publicity. Fuck you, man. Like, there's all
Bad
kinds of,
publicity?
right. There's all kinds of
like
people.
their movies get anymore?
Right.
Even if you settle, wouldn't that?
You usually admit guilt when you settle.
That's how I see
But
it.
it depends
Yeah.
on, because a lot of times what they do is they'll lower the charge to entice you to say I'm guilty and take the plea or take the whatever. And the way our court system is set up, we all know it's not perfect, but the way it's set up is that you're sort of rewarded for that. Whereas if you go to court or you try to fight even when you are innocent, it's like a gamble. So
Yeah.
if you want to take the
Yeah.
sure thing, then you take the small, like, okay. If
That's
he was-
why a lot of people will say, I plead guilty, even though they're not guilty, just so they get a lesser sentence because they feel like they might not have a fighting chance to win.
Well, and there's also sometimes lawyers who want to fight a little bit more for their clients will say, yeah, we'll take the charge, but we want you to accept an Alford plea, which an Alford plea is Alford or something like that. Basically says, I'm not guilty, but I don't have enough or I don't have a way to prove you wrong.
Right.
So there's different ways to say it, but like a lot of places, if they really want to get your ass, they're not going to take an Alford plea.
I don't know if he abused his girlfriend or anything like that, but what I do know is that his girlfriend was a fucking nutcase. So
So she
there's
probably
that.
deserved it.
Huh?
So she probably deserved it.
To be beat?
Yeah.
That's where we get canceled.
I don't know. We've said some pretty racy shit on
Yes, we
here. Might as well piss off the ladies, too.
He's just kidding, all right?
Mhm.
Because let's face it, if he ever tried to raise a hand at Karen, she'd probably whip his ass.
I could take her.
You could take her.
I don't think so.
I can take her.
Fight.
Fuck it, we're gonna
You
get the
wanna
gloves
fight?
on.
Yeah.
Hey, this is gonna be like we need to start
I
up.
don't have the nails anymore, so let's go.
We need to start up a Patreon and make this a special episode that they gotta pay to see.
We could do one of the slap things.
Yeah,
Slap
like
down.
this, and then all of a sudden just start.
You mean
Yeah,
that?
like
Oh,
you
like
lie.
that.
Oh, the slap, yeah, the
Oh.
slapping, yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
Hey,
about
some of
that.
that shit's brutal, dude.
You ain't kidding. It's like
Yeah.
the Krampus thing.
That's like that one lady. She was Asian and she smacked the fucking Asian out of her.
Can you imagine?
Did you see that?
Yeah, I
She was
did.
like Asian and then like she smacked her and she was like
she was
American.
American as shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I was
Can
like,
you
damn.
imagine like having that kind of power though? Like I will slap you and somebody like and then you slap them
And it just floors
and
their ass.
they forget who they are for about
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah, like their face is all swollen on the side. You're like,
Yeah, that's what
damn.
fucking kills me. You see the dude, they got like fucking soccer ball sized lumps.
Yeah, on
And
the
it's
side of their
always
face.
like the big dude, and there's a little
Little
dude.
guy.
Like this dude's hand is the size of your head. Why would you put yourself through that?
That reminds me.
motherfucker's gonna reach
That's
back and just
what.
go-
Did you guys watch Red One? You guys see that?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like the Krampus,
Yeah, the Krampus
fight.
thing, and he's like puts his face up to the rocks.
Uh-huh.
His hand
And
on
you
the
see
rocks,
his
he's
hand is like all over Rob's
yeah.
face. It's like this big, and he's like, like he knows it's coming.
He knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, we got off subject.
Talking about beating
I'm
women
gonna
over
slap the shit out of you. Okay.
Okay.
Oh shit! I did shit.
Also, we had the 67th annual Grammy Awards.
Oh.
Guess who won
here.
everything?
Beyonce.
She won everything.
She fucking sent me a picture. Best country album.
Right.
She won Best Country Album.
No.
I don't even want to.
I
You
don't
guys
ask me-
should not be surprised. Caitlyn Jenner was Woman of the Year.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You want to talk about getting pissed off?
Well,
I have a
what's
vagina.
funny-
She doesn't.
No. Okay. So explain. Okay. So not only did she win Best Country Album, but she also won Best Album of the Year. I don't know of any of her songs other than that fucking what's that one song called?
The
Texas song or whatever.
Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, fuck that song.
And then she won. She also was nominated for Country Duo Group Performance. She won that. She was nominated for Best Song. Nominated for Record. Blah. She was nominated for a bunch of shit. She won Album of the Year. She won Best Country Album, and she won the other one.
You know
The funny
what?
part about it is, guess who presented her with Best Country Album of the Year?
Billy Ray Cyrus.
No.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It's more on the nose than you think.
Her
Jay-Z.
husband.
Taylor Swift.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
It's so
yeah.
funny because Taylor Swift used to be country, went pop. Beyonce used to be pop, went country for an album, I guess, and then won the fucking... Why?
Because
You
she
know what,
isn't
that stuff
relevant
is-
anymore. She's trying to do anything.
That
But she
stuff
wins
is
everything. Why? Why does she win? She's not
You're
good.
because you're telling me it's not rigged. I mean,
Oh,
come
it's
on.
totally
No, it
rigged.
is
Absolutely.
because I haven't heard a single song out of Beyonce this year, which means none of her
The Texas
songs
Hold'em
had to have
song,
been
that was
good.
it.
I heard the Texas
And it
Hold'em
was
song, but
garbage.
I
I
heard
thought
that
it was a
after
one-off.
the
I didn't know she did
Grammys.
an entire album.
I heard that after the Grammys. The
Well,
song.
That came out last year, though.
I know.
Mm.
I haven't heard it
Oh.
until
No,
It's
now.
not good, though. That's
her
why.
point is more relevant because she's a teenager.
That's
She
true.
should
yeah.
know all of the new music coming out, even if it's stuff she's not into.
She's trash. Beyonce is not
I
good.
only know
No.
Destiny Child, and that's it.
I know a couple of her songs. Don't be wrong.
Yeah, I
She's-
mean-
she's got some bangers.
I like Halo. Is that was her, right? Halo.
that. No, what was that one song about? Put a ring on it or whatever.
If
If you like it, you should put a ring
Yeah, I
on
like
it.
that
thought
song.
was
No, she's got a couple of good songs. I'm not gonna
No,
hate
it was
on her
her
completely,
singing. It was
but
it
her
was
new
her.
shit sucks. Like it's not good.
I don't know any of her new stuff. The only thing I heard was that Texas Hold'em.
You're telling
song, and
me
I
that she
hated it.
had the best album and
Yeah, it
everything
is
this year?
Beyonce. Halo.
Okay, yeah, I like that song.
But I don't know. Trash.
I don't
Trash.
like
She's
any
she's
of
not
her
relevant, so she thought she'd step outside of her genre and make a splash.
And she
And they're
didn't.
all going, "Oh, poor Beyonce. Let's just make sure she stays queen."
I don't fucking care about Beyonce.
So
I
she
don't
doesn't
care.
get
I
anyone
don't
else
care about
killed.
She needs
I
to.
will
or
play
her
into that
husband.
conspiracy.
I didn't even know. Like I don't know. Like I love Jay-Z and stuff. You know what I mean? But like, I hope that Diddy list comes out and they're all fucking guilty. Fuck them, dude. I don't
It's not
care.
going to. Just like Epstein killed himself, and
No, I'm gonna write
Now
a letter
all
to
of a
Trump
sudden-
right now, dude. Where's
well,
this
what
P
was,
Diddy list?
Cash Patel, when he was getting sworn in for the FBI, he brought up something about, or was it him? Somebody said, no, it was that senator from Louisiana, the one that gets on there and tells everybody they're stupid. I love that guy. But he got on
You're
there.
stupid.
No, he literally have you ever seen some of his shit? It's so funny. He got on there and he was like, one of the things he said, he was talking about liberals or whatever, and he was like, I'd like to see things from their point of view, but I can't get my head that far up my rear end.
Are you talking about Kennedy?
Yeah,
Ted-
no. Maybe that's his last name, but it's not Bobby, if that's who you're talking about. No, this is the one from Louisiana.
Bobby, that's what you're calling. It's Robert Kennedy.
No, it's Bobby.
You call
We're
him Bobby.
friends.
Okay.
We're besties.
No, it was Ted. Is it Ted Kennedy?
Maybe. I don't remember. But anyway, he got on there and he was talking about he was gonna affirm for Cash Patel to get the FBI director position because he wanted him to check in on all the Epsteins that didn't hang themselves and resolve unresolved things, and I think
Yeah,
that's what he
not
was getting
Ted.
at, was that kind of shit. Because you hear about Diddy going down, but then who else? Fucking nobody. And
Yeah.
you know for a fact he wasn't the only
Fuck
one.
no, he wasn't the only one. There were hundreds of people.
You're telling me at
implemented
any
in
one of
this.
those parties, Diddy's the only one doing it, and everybody going, oh.
Did they make Ellen come back?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Ellen had to come back to America for some reason or another. And I
Didn't
think
she
it has something to
apologize?
do. No, it has something to do with the P Diddy bullshit.
I hope so. They need to keep
I think
going.
they made her
'cause
come back.
if this just disappears like the Epstein shit, first of all, that should have never happened. We should have never allowed that to happen. And second of all, that will be the cake topper for me. Like you can diddle people that are against their will, kids, adults. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
Because if you've got money, you'll get away with it.
yeah. It's bullshit, is what it is. Fucking. That's why LA's on fire, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can throw all your
Ja.
little
John Kennedy. That dude is like he's my
That
fucking
dude's
hero.
wild,
Is
dude.
he?
He
You should
is.
I'll have to
listen
look up
his
some of this shit.
Look up just like a compilation of some of the shit he said.
He's like, Trump, you can do it. I can do it.
oh, like when he said I couldn't get my head that far up my rear end, I was like, oh my god, he said that. He just said that in like Senate, like he did. He like, wow, love the guy.
Hey, man, whatever. All right, let's move on.
Yep.
Let's get into our creator profile. Need a little jig for this. Don't look at
I feel
it.
like you should put like that
I already
dancing
know who it is. I
baby
saw you editing it
up there
earlier.
with it.
Hmm?
You know that dancing baby. You should put that up there with it.
No, because then it takes away from the vibes.
I don't know. It looks like it would dance to that.
No, don't ruin the
No,
vibes.
we need to dance to it like, that's a white guy
We're
dance.
white as hell.
Yeah.
what's the sprinkler one?
Like-
I don't remember that one.
Or no, it's this.
You guys.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it
Me
is.
and Jeremiah are surrounded by old people,
He's older than me.
He's older than all of us.
so old souls, guy.
Oh.
Guys.
No. Okay.
All right. Anyway, anybody know who it is?
Billy Crystal.
Crystal? No, that's my wife.
And I said
Oh,
Billy, Crystal.
Yeah, it's Billy Crystal.
It's gotta be because he ain't watching nothing else with this fucking dude in it.
I mean, we could do Throw Mama from the Train.
That one, I do remember that one being pretty funny.
I suppose.
It's got fucking what's her face from the Goonies, Mama
Yeah, I can
Fratelli.
never
Yeah,
remember.
I know.
Yeah,
It's also got fucking Danny
Danny
DeVito.
DeVito.
Danny DeVito. Yeah, because he plays her son,
Yeah.
Alvin. I don't remember. I just remember her screaming at him all the time.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
All right, Billy Crystal. Crystal, whose father was a jazz promoter and record label executive, spent most of his childhood in Long Beach, New York. In high school, Crystal was an avid baseball player, and after graduating, he briefly attended Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia, on a baseball scholarship. After a year there, he transferred to Nassau Community College on Long Island, where he studied theater. He subsequently transferred to New York University and pursued film and television directing, studying under director Martin Scorsese, and graduating in 1970. He was born March 14th, 1948, New York, U.S. He's 76 right now. His full name is William Edward Crystal. The awards and honors he's got is Emmy Award of 1998, Outstanding Performance in a Variety or Music Program Emmy Award 1992, Outstanding Individual Achievement in Writing in a Variety or Music Program Emmy Award 1991, Outstanding Writing in a Variety or Music Program Emmy Award 1991, again, Outstanding Individual Performance in a Variety Music or Program Emmy Award. I feel like I just wrote that 3 times.
You probably did.
Nope, it's in here 3 times. 1989, Outstanding Performance in Special Events.
Don't
Don't
fucking
let
touch.
him touch my sword.
He's gonna pull it out
Don't
of that
let
bitch
him
and put it right in your forehead.
I'd like to see him try and catch me first.
Kids are the death. Like, I think they're just here to like torture and.
Well, if you
kill.
think about it, like we don't start falling apart until we have kids. I didn't
Oh,
have
I
no
know.
gray hairs. You know,
I know. I feel like I'd have a lot more energy if I never had any kids.
That was so cool. Money and energy.
money, yeah, for real.
You had him, not me.
They say, "Oh, it's because you're not in your 20s anymore." No, it's because I had children. Like, look at all these other people who don't have kids at my age. They got all kinds of fucking
What are you,
energy.
20? My age? What'd I do wrong?
You don't got kids, do you? In 1969, Crystal formed a comedy trio with 2 former Nassau. Is that what you guys said
Sure.
before?
Yeah. Yep.
Nassau.
Nassau.
Classmates. The group performed at small venues for some 4 years. It says for some 4 years. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Okay. Crystal then embarked on a solo stand-up career, frequenting New York clubs. In 1975, he was spotted by producer casting for the inaugural season of the sketch comedy show NBC's Saturday Night Live, later called Saturday Night, later called Saturday Night Live. Anyways, and was slated to perform in several episodes. However, the deal fell through just before the program's first broadcast because of a disagreement. He would appear on the show briefly the following year. Shortly thereafter, Crystal moved to Los Angeles. Crystal's been to Los Angeles?
Probably.
You're right. He acted in
Capital?
You're too young to worry about that.
acted in a couple of made-for-TV movies in the late 1970s.
Remember, sometimes you just have to reset.
But I'm the one who dropped the table.
You are. Because it wasn't me. And you're the only one that was touching it, besides me. But his breakout role proved to be that of Jodi Dallas, one of the first openly gay characters on television, on the boundary-pushing situation comedy soap, 1977 through 81. During this period, he also made his big screen debut in the Joan Rivers directed Rabbit Test, 1978, which was a critical and commercial disappointment. After soap ended, Crystal landed a show, The Billy Crystal Comedy Hour, 1982, which ran for only 5 episodes. In 1984,
Because he's not funny. Sorry, I said it. I said it.
He is if you do, like, if you see some of his improv stuff or the early stuff, it's when he's in scripted stuff that doesn't come out very well, to be honest. And I'm not saying even that's bad. This movie just wasn't great. Anything about Throw Mama from the Train or... But his improv stuff's much better.
Alright. In 1984, he hosted Saturday Night Live and was subsequently offered a place in the cast for the 1984 through 85 season. In 1986, he returned to film work, co-starring in the buddy cop comedy Running Scared. That year, he also co-hosted the comic relief comedy Fundraiser with Rob Williams and Whoopi Goldberg. You guys know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
The trio would go on to host...
She who shall not be named.
Yes, sure. I can't keep a list of that name. Or I can't keep track of
There's
the
3
list
of them
that
you really
have.
need to think about.
What's-her-face from Scream. What's-her-face that
What?
they just said. And then,
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, that
Oh,
chick.
yeah, I guess she
just
was in
said
the
it.
beginning. That was the best part of the movie. Her scene?
The first one?
Yeah,
She got killed.
the first scene.
Oh, now I understand why he always says that. Oh my god.
What, killed?
No, he always says that the scene with Drew Barrymore is...
The best scene ever because she's killed.
Yeah,
Just
and
now?
I just thought he really liked the beginning, and it always threw me off.
I do.
because
I
that's-
really like the beginning.
Shut
The
up.
best part is when she gets stabbed to death.
Because there was so much more like comedy and everything throughout the whole movie. Like my favorite part in the movie is whenever Sydney goes up to Stu and she's like, "What's your motive?" And he goes,
Peer pressure.
"Peer
I'm far too
pressure. I'm
sensitive.
far too sensitive."
Oh,
And
see,
he's
they're
like,
bringing-
Did you really
Back.
call the cops?
"Yeah,
Mom and Dad
they're
are
getting so mad at me."
Did you see they were bringing him back?
Yeah.
Him and Scott Foley.
And to
Well, if they're
Scream,
gonna bring people back, they might as well
Scream
bring back
7.
Billy too.
they finally fed into the fans' delusions.
I
Well,
don't
they're
even.
bringing Scott Foley back too, and he was one of the killers in the third one.
He was.
That's why
He
I
was
said
the
they
only
should just
killer.
bring back Billy too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he was the only killer.
I mean, they kind of brought him back.
They brought him back as like a hallucination, which they might
For
do the
his
same thing
daughter.
in the same capacity with these two, but
But who cared about Scott Foley's ghost face?
Right,
Like
yeah.
I care about Billy or, Matthew Lillard
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't care about anyone else. Really.
I don't either. Like
No,
those were the 2
cannot
main
name
killers to
any
me.
others.
And anyway, keep.
Well, it was
reading.
the first. It was the first. Like it was an original twist, and it like you were
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The third one, you're like, okay, her brother. What the fuck? Like that's
Yeah.
dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the fourth one, didn't she have a sister?
She had it was her cousin.
Was it her cousin? I thought it was.
Yeah,
her
it was
sister.
her cousin. No, it was her little cousin.
I've lost track.
Well, the fans are saying that the whole thing of the like movies and franchise and stuff is if you don't shoot them in the head, they're not actually dead. So now everyone thinks that Matthew Lillard.
The
One-
guy
shit.
had a 90s TV
Yeah,
dropped
I
on
know.
his head.
I
You
Yeah,
can
he
get
was
one of those
stabbed.
dropped on your toe,
know.
and your whole foot
Yeah,
has
and
to
he was
go.
stabbed
Comments.
several times.
But
Yeah.
if you go into comments of any fans post, like that's what the comments are about. Like Stu Macher is still alive.
And then what's he
Like,
been doing for all these years? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
He's been
Recovering.
nobody
plotting.
knows he exists.
No.
He's been
He's been
plotting.
recovering.
That's how they played off, is that he had the thing dropped on his face, and he's had reconstructive surgery. So we don't actually know.
He's
which
actually
one
been
he
posing
is.
as Sydney's
He
husband.
made himself look like Scott Foley. That's how they're doing this.
No, he's
I
this
I
whole
figured it
time.
out. Fuck
This
you.
whole time he's been posing as Sydney's husband. They had
call
kids
us,
together.
we have
Oh
ideas.
yeah,
'Cause
like,
in the-
like she looks
in
at
the
like
most-
one of the kids one day, and she's like, "You kind of look
In
like
Scream
Stu."
in Scream 5, she said that she had kids and like
Mhm.
a husband back
Yep.
at home, and
Heck, in the very beginning, whenever you first see Sydney, she's pushing a baby carriage.
Wouldn't that be funny if like
Yeah.
at the end he's like, I'm Stu," and she'd be like, "I don't believe you," or whatever, and he'd be like, "Well, I take off the mask, but I can't because it's attached," and
Or
you know
they
what I mean?
do, or it
That's
is
pretty
a
funny.
mask, you know, like in Scooby Doo.
I think that when
I
you live
love
with somebody,
Matthew
you're gonna
Lillard.
know that would be funny.
I absolutely
At
love
this point in time, they might as well.
I absolutely
Embrace it.
love Matthew Lillard,
Oh, I do
but
too.
doing this is a fucking bad move. It's
I
a bad
agree.
move.
I agree.
It's not gonna be good. They can only fuck this up. That's
I
the
just
only
wanna
way
see-
they
He's
can
such
do
a
it.
sweetheart, though.
He is, but like I would just love to see him get on there one time and be like, "Stu is dead." Period.
I know, but he's always hyping people like, I don't know, he could come back maybe.
Yeah, he
you know?
always believed that his character was still alive.
I know he's crazy for thinking that. 90s era TV, those things were 800 pounds.
I don't know.
For a 12-incher.
Was it Bloody Disgusting was floating the idea that it was a new Nightmare situation where he's going to actually play Matthew Lillard.
Now that
I can
I
get
can get behind.
I can get behind
And
that.
Scott
I can get
Foley was
behind.
going to be Scott Foley, and it was going to be that whole thing.
that
But
I can get behind.
it kind of is weird because Wes Craven isn't alive anymore.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of an homage though. That would be kind
Yeah,
of cool.
I guess.
Okay, I could probably get behind something like
But
that.
yeah, they were floating that idea, whether or not that's just something that's in their head.
Because New Nightmare is one of
Or
my
whatever,
favorite movies for
but-
just that reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
be
Anyway,
down.
let's
Yeah,
let's keep
sorry.
going.
You
Billy
think they'll-
Crystal.
Wait, you think they'll make it to where Stu Macher had kids too?
I don't know. I
No.
don't know what they're gonna do.
No.
Alright. The trio would go on to host some 10 televised comic relief events over 2 decades. Crystal's film career started to take off in the mid to late 1980s with brief but memorable roles as Morty the Mime in the cult classic Fox documentary This Is Spinal Tap,
Funny
1984.
as fuck.
And as reluctant magician Miracle Max in The Princess Bride. He would have been in The Princess Bride too, and we didn't watch it.
Yeah, he's the dude in the. I'm not a witch. I'm your wife. He's the other guy.
Oh, yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah.
He followed up with the starring roles in hit comedies, including Throw Mama from the Train, 1987, When Harry Met Sally, 1989, and Crystal earned his first film writing credit for co-writing Memories of Me, 1988, in which he also starred. About this time, he started to become an in-demand awards show host, beginning with the Grammy Awards ceremony in 1987. Crystal hosted the Grammys again. You think Beyonce won the Grammys in 87 too?
No, not with Billy Crystal at the helm.
Okay.
Just kidding. I don't.
I don't know. She might have held him at gunpoint though.
I'm sure it's always been rigged to a certain extent. Just never not
Was
so in
she-
your face.
Was she even like doing music then?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
looking
Uh,
at.
I don't
think
know.
so.
I
but-
don't
She
think
was
so.
too
I
young.
doubt it. Yeah.
She still won though, probably. Yeah.
Preemptively, we're gonna give this to Beyonce.
She was
You
born
guys
in
don't know who
81.
is,
She would have been like 7.
Your kids aren't ready, or you're not ready for this, but your kids are gonna love it.
Yep. That's it.
Crystal hosted the Grammys again the following 2 years and then went on to host the Academy Awards ceremony 9 times. 1990 through 1993, 1997 through 98, 2000, 2004, and 2012. In turn, winning 5 Emmy Awards for his efforts, 4 for hosting and 1 for writing. Throughout the 1990s, Crystal continued to appear on the big screen, playing memorable roles in the comedy western oh my god, we watched this movie, City Slickers, 1991, and its sequel, City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold, 1994. And in Woody Allen's Deconstructing Harry, 1997. In 1992, he made his film directorial debut with Mr. Saturday Night, a dramedy that centered on the life of a fading stand-up comedian, which he also co-wrote, produced, and starred in. After a series of flops that included his second effort in the director's chair, Forget Paris, 1995, Crystal gained acclaim for Analyze This, 1999, in which he portrayed a therapist treating an anxiety-riddled mafioso?
Mhm.
Mafioso.
Mafioso?
Yeah.
Played
Tomato,
by-
tomato.
Robert De Niro.
Mhm.
Yeah, played by Robert
I've
De
seen
Niro.
it. I haven't seen
But-
the sequel, though. I've only seen the first one.
I
I've
think I've
seen it, but I don't remember it
both,
well.
but I don't remember either of them. I think I've seen them whenever they came out years ago.
At the turn of the 21st century, Crystal lent his voice to the diminutive. Oh, that's my place. One-eyed green creature Mike Wazowski in the Pixar hit Monsters Inc.
I did
was a
like
good
that
movie.
movie.
2001.
I think he did the voice for Mike on everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Monsters
did.
Inc. was.
You did.
And revisited his love of baseball in directing 61 in 2001. About the 1961 race of Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle to beat Babe Ruth's home run record. In 2004, Crystal made his Broadway debut with 700 Sundays, an autobiographical solo show focusing heavily on his relationship with his father. It won a Tony Award for a special theatrical event. He adapted the monologue into a memoir, also titled 700 Sundays, in 2005. The stage production was revived in 2013 for a limited run, and a film performance was featured in a special that aired on HBO in 2014. Crystal returned to Broadway in 2022, starring in the musical Mr. Saturday Night, which was adapted from his 1992 movie of the same name. One more paragraph, guys. During this time,
Good,
Crystal...
because this is almost as boring as him.
Okay,
I like Billy Crystal, just not.
his life.
We'll get into it.
I never really cared for him.
I want to see that new thing he's doing where he's like, it looks like he's a bad guy or something.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it.
Behind or something like that,
Mhm.
I think.
During this time, Crystal continued to act in films, and his later credits included the family comedy Parental Guidance, 2012, the Monsters, Inc. sequel, Monsters University in 2013, the drama Untogether, 2018, and Standing Up Falling, 2019, about a failed stand-up comedian who befriends an alcoholic dermatologist. He also directed, co-wrote, and starred in Here Today, 2021, about the friendship between a comedy writer who is in the early stages of dementia and a much younger singer, Tiffany Haddish. In 2015, Crystal co-wrote and starred in the TV sitcom The Comedians, which he canceled after one season. Which was canceled after one season. He also wrote an additional autobiography, Still Fooling 'Em, Where I've Been, Where I'm Going, and Where the Hell Are My Keys, 2013. That is a very long title to a movie. That's it, though.
All right, favorite Billy Crystal movie?
One I can remember or one that I think is good?
Whatever.
Throw Mama from the Train? I don't remember it that well, but I remember liking it. If I had to pick one that I knew I liked, then I'd say Princess Bride.
I'm going to go with Princess Bride because I know I like that movie. And he actually was funny in that movie. So
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
for
so I'm
what
saying,
little bit he
he's-
was in it.
He's
for,
good when it's
a little
not
bit more improv.
well, not drama. Like when there's no drama in it, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
But when you throw the drama in, it's like he puts too much
and
drama on it.
I also like Father's Day with him and Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a good one.
I haven't seen that in
but
so
not
long
because
now.
of him, but because of Robin Williams.
Yeah, you can't go
So.
wrong with Robin Williams.
Anybody else?
Monsters Inc. probably.
Oh yeah.
I really like
that's
Princess Bride and Monsters Inc.
Okay, yeah, fair.
We watched them a lot.
All right,
I was a
well,
kid.
there you go. That's Billy Crystal. Another one I never thought we'd probably end up doing, but here we are. It was a toss-up between him and
Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern, yeah.
I like Daniel Stern a lot.
I was going to do him, but I was like, there's a good chance that he's going to pop up again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
know,
With
dad-
Home Alone movies.
Little
and
Monsters.
Little Monsters, yeah. Well,
That movie's so
that
great.
there you got like Fred Savage, though.
Yeah, but him as the dad, like I remember watching that and like legit, like watching it many years later, you know, and having seen like Home Alone 1,000 times, blah blah blah, and then, like seeing him and being like, he was the dad. I've seen this movie 1,000 times.
know.
How did I never pick up on that?
I can't ever picture him in anything other than Home Alone whenever I see him and stuff. I'm like,
Well, that's like I think that's your familiarity. Like
Yeah.
that's where everybody just knows him from. But I realize now there's things that I watched that had him in it.
but
that I
Home
didn't
Alone was
notice.
like peak Daniel Stern, though, too. Though, like, he was really funny in Home Alone.
What?
He
You ever
was.
see Bushwhacked?
That
I have,
was,
yeah.
that was funny
Yeah.
too.
I ain't seen that one in forever.
Dude, his character in
I'm pretty
City
sure.
Slickers
See, this
was
is
my
why I was.
favorite.
This is why I was confused. Yeah, for sure.
He was
He
hilarious.
was the best one. So this is
Girl
why
shows
I was.
up at
I think
his
I was.
house.
This is why I think I was confused because it was him who like got bit in the butt by a venomous snake.
Oh, so
And
that
I
was
think-
bushwhacked, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was bushwhacked. Either it was
Yeah.
bushwhacked or it was the second City Slickers.
See, and I remember liking the second City Slickers, but I remember more about that one. I don't
I don't
remember
remember anything.
I honestly don't think I watched the first one ever. I think I just watched
I don't
the
think I've
second
ever
one.
seen this one either. I think this might be my first watch.
That's what I'm
because
saying. I know I've seen the Curly's Gold one. I know I've seen that. 'cause
I don't know if I've
remember-
even seen it. I don't know.
No, I remember bits and pieces, and I remember like being a kid and watching it, and I remember key things about that movie. I remember thinking it was funny as a kid and stuff. So maybe I would like that one, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I honestly don't think I've ever seen this one because not one thing seemed familiar to me.
Right.
So
He had all the best lines in the whole movie, though. He did. All right, let's get into the movie.
Let's talk about the movie.
All right. So we watched City Slickers from 1991. Karen,
yeah,
take it away, homie.
it just went away. There it is.
I said, take it away. Don't make it go away.
I didn't. I just opened the iPad and it was gone. Three New York businessmen decide to take a Wild West vacation that turns out not to be the relaxing vacation they had envisioned. PG-13, hour and 54 minutes. Billy Crystal is Mitch Robbins. Daniel Stern's Phil Berquist. Bruno Kirby is Ed Ferlio. And that, I mean, Helen Slater was in it. And that's as far as I'm going.
There weren't a whole lot of big names in this movie. Just Billy Crystal and Daniel Stern, really.
I know that Bruno guy from some stuff, but not nearly as recognizable as the other
Right.
two.
And then, so in the classroom at the beginning,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
not only Jake Gyllenhaal,
Oh yeah,
Daniel Harris.
Daniel Harris was
I was
there.
like, Daniel Harris. It was like, blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah, 'cause she has like one little quick line, and that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Back whenever she was, hell, we were probably the same. Like, I think she's only like 4 years older
Well,
than me.
didn't
so
you
it's so
look it
funny.
up? She's like 45 or something.
Yeah, I did, but I don't remember. Hold on.
I think he looked it up from last week when he was
Did he?
watching it. I think.
Say she's about our age. She's not that
she's
old.
not. Yeah, she's not too much older.
And still
If she
fine
is
as fuck.
'Cause I think when she played
47.
47.
I'd still hit it. I don't care.
I think
I'd
you
have
gotta
her
think,
babies.
When was she?
You'd pop them out.
Michael's cousin or whatever the fuck.
Huh?
Niece in Halloween.
Oh yeah. That was 4 and 5. That was
Yeah.
5 and
So like early 80s, and she
it
was
was
like
5
8
and
in
6,
that.
wasn't it? Was it before or after
4 and
the
5.
Paul Rudd one?
That was before.
It was
So it's
before.
4 and 5.
Because Paul Rudd was 6.
Okay.
That's one when they brought.
So
the
it'd have been
Dru-
4
was
and
it the
5.
The
Druids?
Druids.
Yeah.
So it was 4 and 5.
So you have to think she was
Jamie,
about
I think, is what her name was.
Jamie.
Yeah.
But you have to think she was about 8 years old,
Mhm.
maybe even a little older
Yeah.
in those. And those were early 80s. So
Yeah. Also, she was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
hmm
She was about a teenager then, though.
yeah. There's that pink dress.
Kicks over that sign.
Gets
She was
pissed.
also in what was that movie with her and Katherine Heigl where they were I don't remember if they swap or something like that, or I don't remember. Or no, or fuck, I can't remember.
I think the only thing
exactly.
I've seen with Katherine Heigl in it is
This was like years ago.
that's the
like-
one where her and Seth have a baby.
Knocked up.
Yeah, knocked up.
This is
I seen
40.
that one.
She was also in Bride of Chucky.
Oh, I don't remember in that.
Yeah, she was the main
Okay.
character.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh,
I've seen
I
the
know what
movie.
you're talking
Yeah.
about.
A dozen times probably, and yeah, that's good to know.
Because I had the hots for her from that movie. I was like, dude, she is fucking hot. And then all that shit came out. I was like, I don't like you anymore. I think you're a piece of shit.
Maybe I just struck it from my memory because I'm not a huge fan of Bride of Chucky, but I don't know. Could be.
Bride of Chucky was like the first, like, okay.
It was the first time that you saw it, and you're kind of like, "That's kind of cool." Like we're going into,
Yeah,
and
going
then-
into more
and then
slapstick
it was like,
shit.
okay, that's
Yeah, and then Seed of
stop.
Chucky came out like, what the fuck is this?
yeah, like okay, it was fun the first time around. Let's not make
Yeah,
a
now you're
habit
really
of it.
leaning into it. And I don't like it.
Yeah, let's not make a habit of this
And then they did.
Yeah.
Make a habit of it.
for many years.
Anyway,
Synopsis.
synopsis. She already did the synopsis.
I already did that.
I listened.
I could tell.
Who would watch and recommend? Madison, would you watch? Would you recommend?
Probably not.
Probably not. I don't think I will either. I don't think I can recommend this movie to people. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just, it's like Jeremiah said. It's a fucking, it's like advertisement for your midlife crisis. That's exactly what this is. It's a midlife crisis movie. And you would think me being 38, I'm getting nearer to 40, that I'd be like, oh man, I really feel these guys, but I don't. I'm like, this is retarded. Like,
I'd be having a midlife crisis.
No, I
You
think
literally-
that the misrepresentation in this is that, of course, the 90s were different. I will grant
yeah,
that.
right.
But we're like this weird generation where we can be 40 and like this lady today at the hospital, I was working like on my computer waiting for dad to get done at surgery, and she asked me if I was a college student. And I was like, no, working. I have a job. So like we're this weird like generation where like we don't look like we should be 40. I mean, I feel like I do.
I
but,
think
like,
it's because we still dress like we're still in high school. Like we
But
still wear like
but-
band T-shirts
But there's
and
also
shit.
this like misrepresentation. You got to think like even when we grew up, we had kids, we bought houses, we did all the adult stuff, right? And you see adults on TV, and you're like, that's an adult. I'm not like I'm 40, and I'm going, I need an adult.
Yeah, like
You know?
that guy's older than me. No, I'm only 2 years older than you. Oh shit, I thought you were like my senior. Like you could be my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You see people like that. You're like, because that's how I feel all the time. I feel like, like, oh man, is mom gonna yell at me? And I'm thinking like, hold on a fucking minute, I'm almost 40 years old.
But it's kind of like this misrepresentation that you have in Hollywood, where they throw all of these adults in there, and the adults act like they know what they're doing, which I guess is their job as actors.
Right.
But like a midlife crisis is something that a rich person can afford. We can't.
Yeah, I'm not going out and buying a Ferrari tomorrow, or a fucking Corvette. Actually,
Or
Corvette.
how about a 2-week vacation?
Yeah, I'm
on
like
a
2
ranch?
weeks. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm lucky when I get a week. Like
Yeah.
you're talking. I mean, you're talking 2 weeks at a dude ranch. That's like my yearly salary. Like I'm not.
Me and Crystal took a 4-day vacation down in Myrtle Beach like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was like, then that's all that we've been able to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was 4 years ago.
we do something for our wedding anniversary every year, but it's usually we're gone 2 days, 3 days max, and then
Shit,
we're
I
back.
was
Usually
But
just
it's
like a weekend trip.
Right.
but it's always usually in Ohio, within a drive, so less than a day.
When's your anniversary?
October 14th, right?
So it could be something horror related.
Right?
We.
Oh, is this a thing?
Oh no!
Jeremiah?
Wait, that's right. Because we didn't want to do the 13th, and that. Okay, I'm back with you now.
Jeremiah's like, it could be.
I don't want to hear it. There was one year both of us forgot our anniversary, so I don't want to hear it.
My mom's anniversary was yesterday or day before. It was Sunday. And I messaged her and said, happy anniversary. She's like, thanks. We forgot again. They forget every year. I always remind them it's their anniversary.
We only forgot one time we had my parents' wedding or my parents' Christmas, and our actual like when we first started dating is 2 days after Christmas. So like we were driving home and we both saw it like on a billboard like what the date was, and we were like,
Oops.
Hi.
We should go home and have sex. You know, like
Or at least watch a movie with some
Yeah.
wine or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
feed each other. I don't know.
What do we got in there?
Well, we
Beef
don't have-
jerky? That'll work.
That'll work. They don't have to be strawberries.
Yeah.
Anyway, would you watch? Would you recommend?
No.
No.
No, because I feel like a recommendation is like me going to somebody and saying like,
You
hey,
should
gotta
watch
see it.
this. Yeah.
As opposed to like somebody, hey, have you ever seen City Slickers? You think I should watch it? And I'd be like, can.
It's got a few giggly moments, but that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They're like, ha, that's it. That's all it gets.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much what I got out of it.
Yeah. And
There was
those,
a
and
couple
those
of
are all with
times-
Daniel Stern.
Yeah, there was a couple of times like when that girl shows up at the apartment and starts saying she's
Yeah.
pregnant and everything. Dude, I'm sitting there like, oh, you busted. But she kind of deserved it. She's a bitch. But that's funny, you know? But like,
Yeah.
it wasn't laugh out loud funny. It was more like,
Just
oops.
a slight little giggle.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jeremiah?
I've seen it once before this. I've seen it now. No. And no.
No and no. Yeah, see, that's not a very heavy recommend, I'd say.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
it's
it's
just
just not-
one of those movies that were. It's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And
if
it's
I
on,
could
like,
have
the-
went through my entire life without ever seeing anything about it or ever hearing about it.
It's funny because like I've always heard good things about it.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Well,
like,
see, yeah, when
I think
was-
I've seen that movie before. Maybe I should watch
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah.
I even bought the fucking thing. I bought it because like it
You
was
were so
cheap.
sure.
Well, no, well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But also like I was looking at all the platforms. You couldn't rent it anywhere. You could only buy it. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. It wouldn't stream it anywhere, and it was like $20 to buy it. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a digital on Amazon or something. So I bought the fucking Blu-ray for $8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, so now it's in my Blu-ray collection. I
I
don't
don't-
never watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you necessarily. It's just, it's like, it's on like all of those lists too, like top
Yeah,
1,000 funniest movies or whatever.
yeah,
and,
and it's really not that funny.
no,
Like it's funny because like I think the only way that Blu-ray is ever going to come back out of that case is if somebody says, "Hey, can I borrow that?"
you
That's
can have it, man.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah,
No, like
it's freed up as free space in
I
my
feel like
Blu-ray collection.
it's one of those comedies that's it's sort of lying to you because it says it's a comedy and there's a lot of comedic elements, but I would almost throw this in like the coming of age tale kind of deals, you know, only it's obviously, you know, midlife, but I would throw it more into a drama or a,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like most of the time watching it,
it's
I was
really
either
and honestly, it's not even really so much a midlife crisis movie as it is like a
finding yourself.
finding yourself and appreciating, you know, what's around you kind of movie. Like, yeah, I guess that you could call that a midlife crisis, but this isn't really a midlife crisis so much as it is this dude just needed to be reminded of what was important to him.
Mhm.
That was it.
I just feel like midlife crisis are bullshit.
They really are bullshit.
Because I mean, if you're unhappy with where your life is, like first of all, nobody's completely happy with where their life is.
never, yeah.
But if you're happy in all the ways that matter, like your family and your job is relatively fine, or you know what I mean. If all of those things are in check, then cool, you're normal. You're just like everybody else. But if you sit there and complain about your life the whole time and like, you know, it's always oh, you
I
know,
think-
I need this and I need that
Yeah.
and like, oh, I'm gonna go out and get me a Ferrari to make things better. First of all, you're too fucking rich to be that damn depressed
well,
about
it's usually
shit.
a Corvette. Usually it's a Corvette.
You
I
know what
wouldn't
I'm
even buy
saying,
a
though?
car though.
Yeah, right.
You know
Well,
what I'm
my,
saying, though? Like,
my
you-
thing is, I think I already went through my midlife crisis, but I couldn't afford to buy the car, so I just started a podcast. I think that's what it was. Like, I started a podcast.
Just so you know, I'm not here because I'm having a midlife crisis. I just like to talk about movies.
She's like, I like movies, and he invited me.
Yeah,
I'm
he
here
invited
because I
me.
pitied him for his midlife crisis.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
I'm filling in.
I'm filling in. Anyway,
How's it treating you?
Oh,
How's it treating you?
the podcast or the midlife crisis?
Both.
I mean, you know, it's working out. Still doing it. I haven't missed a day yet.
Yeah. We show up to work, Eric.
Yeah, Eric.
You don't miss a day because
He,
it's in
he ain't
your
gonna know he
base-
even said that because he doesn't listen to
Yeah.
the podcast.
You don't miss a day because it's in your basement.
That's true. That's true. I guess.
If you need to miss a day, you just reschedule it.
we need to just get a porta john down here.
Well, we
No.
usually try to record ahead or whatever so that it doesn't impact anyone else. I think that's what he means by not missing a day. We try to communicate that stuff.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it happens. Not everybody can be here every single Tuesday. We've canceled before. because of one reason or another.
Yeah, we have canceled before, like, hey, we're not putting one out. That's only happened a few times, though.
I want to say maybe twice. Maybe three on the outside, but I'm
2 or 3
I can
times.
think of at least 2 times.
But it was always because of a fuck up or something like that. And then I think 1 or 2 times we'd cancel because of something else going on.
Mhm.
But usually we try to work it around,
And
like,
usually
hey,
that's stuff that's
instead
unavoidable.
we're going to record on this day or that day,
Mhm.
you know, and we've done that. We've done that several times.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just better than canceling, because I don't want to miss a week, you know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Because I don't know how many people listen to us actually, like fully listen to our episodes, but I don't want to disappoint those people who do
I agree.
listen to us.
Mhm.
So that's my big thing.
Well, and consistency is key.
That's right. That's
So-
right. Anyway, let's move on here and let's talk about this goddamn movie.
Is it really long?
It's not.
Okay,
It's
good.
not very long. So
I don't think I could handle another 2 hours. That movie was too long too.
What?
The
Once Upon a
City,
Time?
No, City Slickers. It was
It
almost
was. It
2
was like
hours
2 hours long, man. I'm like, why is this movie?
I
so
don't need
long?
that long.
I like the production value of the movie and stuff. Like it looked like a
But the
good
thing
movie.
is, though, like when I look back on it, I can't think of anything that I would have taken out that wasn't semi-relevant. Or if I would take it out or shorten it, it wouldn't have made that much of a difference to the runtime. So I
Right.
can't, other than saying I feel like it was too long, I can't give you any.
I
like-
think my issue with the movie itself mainly is that a lot of things don't land. Like some of the comedic beats that are supposed to land just don't. Like almost like they
You
don't.
think maybe
go
it's
anywhere.
a time thing?
I think it's
like
I
over
think it
time,
is.
it's just not it's not funny. to
Well,
us
I think
anymore.
that a lot of the jokes and a lot of the things in the movie just aren't properly timed.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, or like they'll
Gotcha.
cut something short and move on to the next scene instead of like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess, but that's just how I felt. Like, man, I feel like they really should have stuck the landing a little better on this joke with this scene or
Mhm.
whatever. You know, like the part where Curly comes up behind him while they're all sitting around and
He's
talking.
behind me.
And he's
isn't he?
behind me, isn't he? And then he is, and that was okay. I was like, all right. He turns around, and then he says something to him, and he's like, "I crap bigger than you," and I'm like, and then he walks away, and I'm like, that just didn't land right for me.
No.
You know what I mean?
I feel like if they'd have like leaned more into that whole thing with him and Curly, that would have been funny.
Yeah,
Because that was funny, and I kept waiting to laugh at it, but they never did anything that made me actually laugh.
right.
Like I was
exactly.
just kind of sitting there, like he's scared of the old guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does.
And Curly is someone I think that, well, for one, shouldn't have died in the movie. I think he should have been there throughout the movie because honestly, he was one of the best parts of the movie.
I agree.
Him and the Daniel.
Put
and
that
Daniel
cookie
Stern's
down!
character.
Did you hit the button on accident?
It worked.
It did. It kind of went with what he
Kinda
was
went
talking
with what we were
about.
All right, go ahead, Madison.
Now that it's turned off again.
Okay, we'll turn it on.
Okay, we'll turn it on. No, look, now it's trying to record.
Why do you want to record us? We're already recording.
That's what I'm thinking.
The red
like,
button down there says
Tell
so.
it to this guy. I didn't do nothing. It's just
Send a
like the
guy. That's a
table.
tablet. Kind of like that table didn't throw itself on the ground.
I did throw it.
Define
You threw
guy
it.
for me.
Don't
Can you
change,
define?
Don't pin the blame off on someone else. You threw it.
I didn't. You were trying to. You're.
I was not trying to throw it. You
Here we go.
threw it. and
You did
expected
this.
me to
You
hold
brought
a
it
whole
back
lot-
up.
A whole friggin' table. Okay.
Well,
Bloody
lucky
frickin' not,
frickin'
okay?
God!
This is all your fault. You're the whole reason why we dropped it, and the pennies fell. It didn't land.
Fuck your own face!
He dropped the table, not me.
I thought the aliens did.
That was made up, Karen. Come on.
I thought the
Know
table
your-
threw
know your
itself.
theory.
See,
Theories
now
from
you're
your
just.
fantasies.
Now you're not credible at all. We can't believe anything you say.
I will shoot you.
I heard aliens. When I was getting all excited, I got my
I
tinfoil
don't
hat
give
on and
a
everything.
fuck, Keisha.
No, you won't, because your brains will be all over the place.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. Was that expensive piece?
Probably not. You're kind of dumb.
Aww.
All right, go ahead and start reading.
The film script was written by I don't care. Alright, plot. We're good. New Yorker Mitch Robbins, Billy Crystal, has just turned 39 years old and is having midlife crisis. His best friends are also having crises of their own. Phil, Daniel Stern, is stuck managing his father-in-law's grocery store while trapped in a sexless marriage with his overbearing wife, Arlene.
12 years.
Yeah.
Didn't have sex for 12 years. I was like, oh my God.
That's divorce, like a year in. I'm
Like
done.
they like after like at first whenever she comes in and she's like, you had an affair on me, and I'm like, oh man, this dude's in trouble. And then he's like, we didn't have sex for 12 years. I was like, I would have had an affair on her too. Like that's a
Get
long
a divorce.
time.
Get a divorce.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up there anyway if you have an affair.
Yeah, true.
And Ed, Bruno Kirby, is a successful sporting goods salesman and playboy, having recently married an underwear model, but is struggling with the idea of monogamous?
Monogamy.
That's not what that says.
Monog-
Marriage.
monogamous marriage. Yeah.
Means one person for one person. You don't cheat. It's just a dude and
A husband and wife.
I find it to be pretty easy.
yeah.
And the pressure to have kids.
I barely.
I think it'd be hard
I
to
could
have an
barely
affair.
stay. I could barely stay awake just to have sex with my own wife. I
think
couldn't
it would
imagine
be-
trying to stay awake for somebody else.
I think it would be hard to have an affair. It's easy.
I
to
don't
stay,
know,
It's
yeah.
hard. It's hard to have an affair. It's easy to be married and not fuck around.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, because Chris was always paranoid about that kind of shit. I'm like, why? Having an affair is so hard. I'm lazy. You know that.
all,
So, like-
all the having to like sneak around.
Yeah, I
and,
ain't
like,
doing all
fuck
that shit. Like, I'm good. I'm happy where I'm at. I love my kids. I love my life. I love my
You don't
house.
have time for it anyways.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that shit. And I tell
That's
her
what
that.
I'm saying.
She's like, she always comes, well, what if you did have time for it? Like, I still wouldn't do it. Like, I
like,
just,
do you realize, like, and again, it's not because of the work thing, right? Like, let's be clear. I'm not going to cheat on you. It's just, like...
is she, though, Jeremiah? Yeah,
It's-
fuck it.
It's a lot
I
of
get the
work.
house.
It's a lot of work that in my 40s, I'm just not...
Yeah.
I mean, I was never, but you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're young, especially, like, it would be easier, I think. But, like, at the same time, why?
And then by the time the kids move out of the house, there's no point in it. You guys are so settled into your places, and you guys, now you have a free house, and you can have all the sex you want. You can walk around naked, which is I'm really looking forward
Oh,
to.
yeah.
I can't wait for that.
I even picked out our new, like, house, the mat, the welcome mat. It says, you better knock, we're probably naked.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
I already told the neighbors,
down
like,
as soon as we're
I
kidless.
said, I'm going to tint all my windows, and one day you're going to be looking over my house at my windows, and I'm going to be standing there like this, naked. And you're going to be wondering to yourself, I bet Joseph's standing there right now naked.
Well,
And you're gonna be
inside of your
correct.
You're inside of your own house.
Yeah.
Why do you need to tint your windows? If people are looking at your fucking windows. That's their fucking problem.
Well, I don't need any kids seeing me butt ass naked either.
Yeah, fair
You know what I
point.
mean? Like,
Yeah, I
I've
never
got
thought
those
about
big
that.
bay windows in the front of the house. That's all I need is some 12-year-old walking by like, damn, that dude is tiny. You know what I mean?
That's where he goes with it. 12-year-old judging his dick size.
I just think it's hilarious that my husband's like, I don't care, I'll take the fucking curtains down and walk around.
Like you're in your fucking house. Anybody who's fucking looking inside your house,
It's still indecent exposure though, because it can be viewed by the public.
Anytime it is indecent exposure, anytime somebody sees you in an inappropriate way, when it could have been prevented
Yeah. As if
By
you could have
you.
closed the curtain.
by the naked person.
What if you don't have curtains?
Then you
you
shouldn't
have to
be
buy
naked.
curtains. Like, yeah, then you shouldn't be naked. You should just be like.
It can be prevented. You know, being naked can be prevented by
What if
putting
I
on
start a
clothes.
nudist colony in my house?
I don't think that works that way.
Yeah, it's still part of
What
the
if
city.
he-
You could
what
do
if
that.
he
in
makes
you
it
could do
into
that
a
in the
religion?
country.
What if he makes it into a religion, though?
Hey, there you go.
Uh,
Nudist religion.
There's a
hell.
lot of rules and stipulations when even it comes to religion. Like, you can't go sacrificing babies for the satanic religion, okay? You can't do that.
Probably
That's
could.
against the law.
You can by their rules if it means that you're bettering yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we
I'm
should
gonna
get
say
into
I'm
this.
gonna say that
Let a
the
bunch of
laws
people
of the
cool
land
it.
will probably override that, but I'm just saying religiously, I guess they could.
Just get
You
away
could,
with
but
it.
you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Not if you get away with
Jim
it.
Jones. You killed 40,000 people.
Well, he did get away with it on Earth. I don't know what happened after. He might have gotten pretty warm. I don't know. I wasn't there for that.
All right, guys. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. At Mitch's
We didn't even get like a paragraph into this, and like,
No.
Talking about religion and
Yeah.
everything else.
At Mitch's birthday party, Phil and Ed present a joint gift, a 2-week cattle drive in the southwestern U.S. Mitch initially refuses, having promised to visit wife Barbara's. Her name is Wife Barbara.
no,
His
it's saying
wife.
his wife, like the
Barbara.
wife Barbara, wife Barbara,
Wife,
and then
comma,
continue
Barbara.
reading. It'll make more sense.
Wife Barbara's parents.
There you go.
It still doesn't make sense.
Made sense to me.
You didn't even hear the full sentence altogether.
Just read it. You're gonna get in trouble.
Florida.
You have to live here until July. Careful.
I could live in my car.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Good luck.
Dad can't live without me until July. That's how that goes.
Oh, mi scusi, mi
Oh,
scusi.
sorry, that was the wrong one.
I don't give a fuck, Keisha.
You know what? Whenever he's complaining about missing me on the channel, I want you to like send it to me. So whenever I get my phone for like,
I'll never say that publicly. Just put that on the record. Never saying that publicly.
I'm gonna need you to
Put a little
record
sign
it.
up there. Some
Thank
point.
you.
Do not mention how you.
Do
miss
not mention Madison. I'm like, by the way, so about. Oh,
No. We have that pull
compose
down.
yourself.
We have that pull down menu of all those names.
Of all-
When she goes
people
in
who shall
July,
not
you
be
write her
named.
name at the bottom.
People who shall not be named.
Jesus Christ, I hate you
It'll
guys.
be
And
like
it's gonna be too. It's gonna be a pull down. Like, yep, she's on there.
It'll be like written in like yellow crayon.
Yellow crayon.
All right.
It leads to Madison right in the center.
Mitch initially refuses, having promised to visit wife Barbara's. It doesn't say his wife. It just says wife Barbara's. To visit wife Barbara's
There
parents.
should be a comma there.
in Florida.
Wife, comma, Barbara.
No, there's not.
Well, then that's where they fucked.
Thank you. However, when a young checkout girl, from Phil's grocery store inadvertently reveals an affair they had, Arlene files for divorce and Phil loses his job. Barbara insists that Mitch go along, both to cheer up Phil and to help himself find some purpose before he is tempted into adultery or suicide. Adultery means like...
Having an affair.
Yeah.
It's like cheating on your spouse.
No. I thought it meant like doing sexual things with underage people.
No.
No, that's pedophilia.
Yeah.
I
No, that's
know,
not. That's fuck. What is that called? It's not pedophilia, because pedophilia, there's different types. There's pedophilia, and then there's something else for kids who are in their teenage years. There's different words.
It's so gross.
It is gross, but what? So it'd be statutory. Yeah. Sorry.
Anyways,
No, I know there's levels, but let's be real. It's all the same
It's all
fucking
the same.
thing.
Yeah.
and
The kids' version of adultery.
Have you seen 12-year-olds that break up? Be like, I saw you talking to Stacy. How could you cheat on me? I was asking for the
her.
math homework.
I was asking her what your favorite kind of cookie was. Like,
It's the truth. Cheating all depends on the relationship and the people. Like, what your definition of cheating is. I know people that think that, like, you can emotionally cheat.
Yeah.
I've met
Um,
that person.
I just think that
That
if
was
you are
Amy's
in a marriage and you are unhappy, get out.
I think that cheating dictates on how you respect your spouse's boundaries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
your
fair, yeah.
significant significant other might not see cheating as you see cheating. You might think, well, I'm allowed to talk to this person, I'm allowed to do this, this, and this, but you got to respect your significant other's wishes.
Yes.
If they don't like you talking to other women, don't do that.
Yes.
Because they're going to call that cheating. Now, you might not see it as cheating, but they do. And in
unless
that case,
unless there are extenuating circumstances where you feel like that's just too far or whatever,
Mhm.
those are discussions. But it doesn't mean you disrespect
Yep.
how they feel if you truly care about this person. But all I would say is that in my experience and my whatever you want to call it, but like if you have to discuss those terms, that's a problem, first of all. And second of all, if you have a relationship in which it's easier, it's possible to cheat on someone, you already know that.
Yeah, right.
You already know that,
Yeah.
that's, unless you are just a, you don't have very high self-esteem or whatever. And those are things that can be worked on, can be dealt with. But I'm just saying, if you're in a relationship where the possibility is there, you know that it's going to happen, or you know that it has happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
Yeah, so it's, and like I said, it's all about like knowing and monitoring the I don't know, I guess how to put it.
the gauge of the other person.
The
like
gauge
what
of the
they-
other
yeah.
person, yeah, I guess like like I'm not even saying that there's a middle ground there. There's not a middle ground because you need to respect each other's boundaries.
If you can talk through it and get them to understand one way or the other, or get them to, you
And
to
that's
understand
fine,
their position,
but
that's
don't
the whole
overstep.
thing. Exactly.
So,
And I will
'cause-
say that there are instances where it is okay to look at your significant other and say, that person is off limits. That person you don't talk to, you don't look at, you don't think about.
Mm-hmm. So like my wife, she doesn't like. I don't care if she talks to other dudes.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But with her, like if there's another female, like then she doesn't know him that well, or whatever the case may be, and she doesn't want me to talk to that female. I'm not talking to that fucking female. I don't text other females. I don't like other than like
Well,
Karen or friends that she personally knows.
Women have a I don't care what anybody says, women do have a sixth sense for when another woman's trolling for you.
That
I'm sorry,
could be.
I
Yeah.
don't I will go to my grave saying that.
But guys have the same thing about other guys though too.
Oh, and I respect that.
So-
I do. I
Dad's
respect
motto
that.
is all guys are dogs. So
They really are. Yeah.
Most of
Not
them.
most of them. Most of them.
any guy
I don't
I've
have to worry
ever
about him
talked
at
to
all.
has
Yeah, I ain't worried about
Jeremy.
Jeremy. I'm talking about like other
Talk about
guys.
this. I wouldn't know if a chick was hitting on me. She actually said.
I'm not talking about like I'm talking about like guys who like
She'd
that
have
are
to walk up to you and say, I
outside.
want to have sex with you.
The guys outside of like our friend group, things like that.
Mhm,
Like if
yeah.
like you know like in my like especially until I meet that guy's a potential person that's going to hit on my wife. You know what I mean? So until then, I don't trust him. That's just the way that is. I trust my wife. Crystal's never going to cheat. She doesn't. She's not a cheater.
I could talk about someone from my friend group, and he'd be like, is that guy trying to hit on you too?
They
That's a
probably
father.
do. They probably do.
That's
that.
a father more than it is a
Annoying.
person.
They probably
Like-
do though.
I'm like, no, Dad. No. I'm pretty
But
sure he's
that's
gay.
just that's a father more than it is him as a person. Like that's just
I'm just saying, you got a friend at school who just turned 18. She's pregnant now.
ask Jack. I do the same thing. Like he'll say some little girl's name. Like, who the fuck is Pigtails? I'll rip him out of her fucking head.
Pigtails.
Yeah, I always call him Pigtails. I don't care what.
All right, go ahead.
In New Mexico, they meet ranch owner Clay Stone and others there for the cattle drive. As they learn the ropes of moving a herd, there's a tense encounter with the ranch's professional cowboys, Jeff and TR.
These guys were such
who-
dicks for no reason.
Yeah, who drunkenly
How did they live? How did they work there for that
proposition
long?
vacation.
I want to know where
on
the hell they
Body
went.
River.
Like,
Well, they left because they thought they were going to get in trouble. You're telling me that you're not worried about them finding their way somehow?
right.
Like, and this is the first time that this has happened in the
In
time
all of
that,
the
yeah, it seems like they're a weird bad guy to pick. Like, I would think it was more possible that you've got some ranchers that live somewhere there in that vast place that, you know, are like, I don't know, against the other ranch. I don't know, something other than people that work for the ranch being shitty.
yeah, that's pretty wild.
The standoff is abruptly halted when Curly Washburn, the tough as nails trail boss, lassos Jeff into a chokehold and then chastises both for being intoxicated on the job. He demands an apology from Bonnie, who appreciates Mitch's efforts on her behalf.
There are a lot of flirtations towards that woman because she was literally the only woman in this entire ranch, and aside from the wife. But like, I called it from the very beginning that Daniel Stern was
Oh,
hooking up with
yeah,
her.
yeah, 'cause
I'm like,
it's not gonna be Billy
but they don't even
Crystal.
make that apparent until like almost the very end.
Yeah, but you knew, I mean, because
But like
okay.
he was because the other guy was married. Well, they were both married.
But here's the thing: like, you have to look at it from this perspective. Like, Billy Crystal, as a person, isn't going to let his character do that.
Right.
The other guy was married, and the whole point was him trying to like find his way to.
Yeah,
be,
exactly.
You know? So that wasn't going to.
And then Daniel Stern, as soon as he came out and said, "Guess what? She's not pregnant," I was like, "Yep, he's hooking up with that girl
Oh,
by the
for
end."
sure, yeah.
So
yeah.
that put that nail in that coffin.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time, they're all oogling over her, and I'm like, it's like a goddamn beanpole, man. Like,
Yeah, but hey, she's always been really pretty. Just her eyes have always been very
Yeah.
beautiful.
yeah. So
But
I mean, I'm glad it wasn't like front and center. It was something that like the three main characters or whatever. That friendship was the main focal point.
yeah,
So,
no, I
was
didn't. I
happy
didn't
about
mind that. I liked it.
Yeah.
The thing that drove me crazy, literally, is the ranch hands. I feel like they're a terrible bad guy. They're a
Mhm.
terrible catalyst for what lands them in, the situation that they're in. Because if Curly caught him that first time, you think he'd go to his like people and be like, "They're not coming with us on the trail. They're too much."
You
of
would
a-"
think.
You know what I'm saying?
Curly's also the kind of guy that's like, I need them on the trail, and if they get out of hand, I'll handle them.
And then he
Yeah, but
But then he died. So.
yeah, I feel like they're a terrible. It's a terrible plot point.
Yeah,
Me.
I don't disagree.
All right. Curly, Jeff, TR, and the ranch's guests begin the long drive to Colorado. Curly overhears Mitch insulting him and later humiliates Mitch in retaliation. After a destructive stampede is Mitch's fault. As punishment, Curly chooses a fearful Mitch to accompany him to find stray cows. They spend the night alone and they slowly begin to bond. Mitch discovers that despite Curly's tough exterior, he is a very wise man. Curly advises him how to face his problems
Every time.
by singling out the one thing that is most important in life.
Every time Billy Crystal thought his life was in jeopardy, that was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
when he was like playing the harmonica and he kept
He's
telling
like,
him to stop and he's like
Like he was standing up to
yeah,
it,
he's like,
and
I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna do it anyway,
But
even
he's
though
like
you might
shaking the
kill
whole
me.
time.
I didn't understand that whole scene because then he started singing, and I'm like, okay, so he's into it then, or like,
He didn't want to show his soft side, I guess,
Yeah.
and harmonicas compel him to sing. That's what I got out of it.
that's the best. you
He
can
knew
get out
the
of it.
song.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're gonna bring out the softer side of me. I'd like to. And then he is like, yeah.
You quit that right now or I'm gonna have to these people and
And then he's like, you know any show tunes?
The next morning, Curly and Mitch deliver a pregnant cow's calf.
Mm.
Curly is forced to euthanize its
I did not dig
ailing
that part at
mother
all.
by delivering a coup de grace. So Mitch informally adopts the newborn and names it Norman.
I like Norman.
I like Norman too. He was the best character in the whole movie.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't even have any
It was
lines.
so adorable.
Yeah, I like that he brings him home. I knew he was going to.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, he's not gonna let him go to slaughter.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, like the whole thing, and then he just caps the cow.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, she was dying. Put her out of her misery. Like, god damn,
They're
dude.
like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, she lost too much blood, and yeah, she wasn't gonna make it.
I'm pretty sure that was a real birthing scene too, because that was
It was.
Yeah.
was it? Okay,
He
yeah.
really birthed a calf.
Okay, I believe that
That
because
was the cutest calf ever, though.
yeah, after it was cleaned up. It's like on him. He's like, yeah, buddy, and I'm like, dude, that thing is like covered in afterbirth. Like,
So are babies.
It's natural.
I don't give a fuck. They clean it up. I didn't hold any of my kids till they were cleaned up, at least wiped down and like wrapped in something. Like you better fucking burrito that kid before you hand it to me. Like I don't want none of that. Yeah, exactly. Wax off. I'm like, ew. You got
Wax
something.
on.
I was holding
Wax
Madison. I
off.
was like, you got something on your face.
Ew, is she
Ew.
always gonna look like this?
Looking at your mom and just throwing it back. That's you're missing something. You left this on my kid.
All right. The drive runs into trouble when Curly unexpectedly suffers a fatal heart attack. Is that what it was? Did they ever say that?
No.
They never said that, but yeah.
Okay. As they proceed without him, Cookie the cook gets drunk and breaks both of his legs, requiring him to be taken to a hospital. Without Curly's presence,
Which
Jeff
I
and
found
TR become
came out of
freely
nowhere.
It
intoxicated.
really did come out of nowhere. That's what I'm saying about shit just not landing or whatever, like poorly timed. I'm like, so he's
Just
just
wasn't
drunk
set
out of
up.
nowhere
Like
now.
the whole
Like
time that you've seen this guy beforehand,
nothing
he
built
just
up to this.
Yeah, he just seemed like a funny dude or whatever.
Yeah.
You never saw him carrying around like a whiskey bottle or somebody taking it away from him or anything like that. Nothing ever hints to the fact that this guy should not be drinking.
Right. Nothing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like nothing builds up to this or anything. It just comes out
And
of
then it
nowhere.
ends up to be a key plot.
And that's
point.
how a lot of things in this movie happen. It just comes out of nowhere. I'm like the two guys and what happened with the bottle, and like after all that, it just comes out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, so for no reason at all, these guys decided to get shit faced also and become assholes, and which they were assholes before, but
they were, but like
it
at
came
least
out
there-
of nowhere.
But at least there was a build up to that.
Yeah.
You had the whole scene at the ranch where they were hitting on her.
Exactly.
Curly had to knock him down.
This
and all
came
that.
out of nowhere, and I'm
This-
like,
yeah,
okay,
him being drunk and just tearing everything apart was like, what's going on now? Where
Yeah.
did this come from?
yeah, exactly. And then the same thing with the two guys, them being drunk and being intimidating and assholes, and I'm like, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There was no build up to it.
Yeah.
All right, goading Mitch into challenging them. Ed intervenes and Phil disarms both, furiously ordering them to go to bed. Fearing reprisals from their boss, Jeff and TR abandon the city folk in the wilderness, leaving them with no trail boss, food, or map. The vacationers decide to abandon the herd and seek civilization, except for Ed and Phil, who insist on driving the cattle to Colorado despite Mitch's opposition. The others ride on ahead, but Mitch unexpectedly returns. That was unexpected too. Did anything lead up
That
to
came
that?
out of nowhere also. It just did nothing led up to it or anything. He just popped up out of nowhere. I thought, well, I figured maybe
No, I knew he was gonna come back.
I knew he was going to come back, but they didn't lead up to it at all. It just happened. And it didn't take very long for it to happen.
Dude, that
Yeah,
actually,
I don't think that was that.
I did. I thought it was kind of
No, I get that, and that's fine. I didn't have that same.
I knew he was
reaction
going to
to
come
that.
back. I just didn't. It happened very abruptly.
You
And,
expect a
yeah.
little bit of build up to it. Like, it confused me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Whenever
he just
showed
popped
back
in. I
up,
was like,
'cause
oh,
didn't
there he
have
is.
the same
Like,
hat
no
on, and
build
he
up,
low-key-
nothing.
And he like even changed his outfit, so he like confused me a little bit because I thought he was just a different person, and I'm like,
Not to be fair, there wasn't
Looking at
really
him.
any breakdown of how much time had passed.
Well, but also it didn't show him like
changing.
there
his
was
mind.
changing his mind. Not, like I said, there was no build up to it. So like,
'Cause he
because
seemed
in a lot of
dead
these sort of
set.
cases, there's like they'll cut to a scene with like him and somebody maybe with the group that he was with headed back, and like he has this epiphany or like he has this realization that maybe he should go do this, whatever. They don't do any of that. There's no build up to it. He just comes back.
He leaves, and
Yeah.
then in the next scene, he's back.
He's back, and he's
I guess because I knew it was going to happen.
yeah. I mean,
I
everybody.
didn't
You knew it
think
was going to
about-
happen.
Yeah, I didn't think
Right.
about it like that.
Yeah.
It didn't.
There was just no build up to it or anything, and I was just like, okay. So
I hated the plot stuff worse, like the things that were catalysts that made something happen for the plot to move
but it did
forward,
nothing led up to it.
But
or-
nothing led
yeah.
up to it. That to me, I'm like,
But that's exactly what they did with him returning too. There was nothing that built up to him coming back. He just came back for no reason, and like you don't know what changed his mind or anything like that. He just came back.
guilt.
So yeah, guilt. Well, obviously, I mean, but still though, like usually there's like an epiphany
Because
scene
I mean,
or
I
something
can
like
see
that.
that playing out though. Like I can see like me being on a
Right.
horse, and being like, I got to go back, and that's it. Like I'm
I'm
gone.
sure that they probably filmed something like that, and they probably just cut it.
Mhm.
But because I find it very hard to believe that they didn't film a scene like that.
I liked it better how he just showed up. And they had like the sun behind him, and it kind of gave him like
It was
the,
a cool
I'm here to
scene.
save
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys kind
Yeah.
of vibe, rather than us being told directly that he was
Right.
going to come back. I kind of liked that it was sort of a surprise.
Well, I also believe that those two characters, especially for him, are a huge integral part of what he becomes. By the end of
They're huge.
because
Well, they've had this friendship this long.
exactly,
This is
and they're
obviously
they're
not
the
their
two
first
most
one.
important people aside from him in this movie,
Mhm.
and I think that they don't really show his appreciation for them as much, and I think that scene would have given that appreciation that he feels for his two best friends. You know what I mean? And I think that was needed, and it did, but they didn't do that, and there was no build up to it, so it was kind of like, eh. I mean, don't get me wrong, you get that later on down the river, whenever they save him from the river and that, and it kind of just shows that, but
Yeah.
so whatever. Anyway, continue.
TR becomes freely. Oh wait, hold on. To rejoin his fellow city slickers and finish the drive. The final test involves crossing a dangerous river. Despite a violent storm, the men successfully drive most of the herd across, but Norman, the calf, is caught up in the river's rapid current. Mitch impulsively gives chase.
Why
and
wouldn't you carry him
successfully
across
loses
anyway?
it.
I
I
thought the
don't-
same thing.
yeah.
But again,
If
it,
he's the smallest, he's not going to be able to
he's
wade
a
through that
baby.
water.
He was just
Yeah,
born 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like, pick his ass up.
pick him up and carry him. Like
Yeah.
put him across your horse with you and just
It's obvious that you
across.
can carry him. You've done it
Yeah.
several times.
Like I didn't understand that scene. I'm like, why would you have done that to begin with? Like, why wouldn't you just take him with you? You know he's gonna be able to cross by himself.
It's another driving point, but they could have done it better.
Yeah, right.
You know, maybe he was on the horse and fell off. Maybe
Yeah,
they
something
dropped
like yeah,
him. Or,
yeah,
you
right.
know, I mean,
yeah.
anything other than what actually happened.
Yeah.
All right. But in turn, gets caught in the rapids. Seeing this, Phil and Ed rush to save Mitch and Norman. As the men collapse on the river bank, life's problem seems far behind them. From there, the three easily led the herd to the Colorado Ranch, where they are warmly received by the others. Clay Stone, overwhelmed, rewards the entire group, and the trio in particular, by fully refunding their fees. To their dismay, however, Stone has decided to sell the cows to a meat company for a fine price. Mitch returns to New York, a happier man, having realized that his one thing is his family. Ed returns home to tell his newlywed wife he is fine with having children. Phil starts a new relationship with Bonnie. Mitch has spared Norman from the slaughter by purchasing him and bringing him home, at least until he can find a nice petting zoo.
What's he gonna do with a fucking cow in an apartment?
I don't know.
He said until you can find a petting zoo.
Yeah.
Well, where's he gonna go to the bathroom at?
So the best line in this
Well, they're
whole
just gonna
movie
take him out, you
is
know?
at Curly's funeral, and they're like, "Lord, we give you Curly, just don't piss him off."
yeah. Yeah.
So that was the best line. I was like, "Oh, that's good."
Mm-hmm. And I mean, don't get me wrong. There were scenes that I enjoyed watching. I enjoyed the Curly and him scene where he was scared of him the whole time when they were on their, excursion. I liked Daniel Stern pretty much anything he was doing.
Yeah.
I liked the humor and I like Billy Crystal's humor. It's just like you said. I don't think in this movie it translated very well. They didn't stick the landing.
Also, I think that there was in some scenes there was too much seriousness.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like this movie is marketed as a comedy, but when you really sit down to watch it,
It's not. It's more of a dramedy. Really.
If I were more if I knew that I was getting into like a again, it feels like a coming of age. Only that's not exactly what it is. But you know what I'm saying. That it feels like it's a growth movie, right? It feels like a movie where the characters are trying to find something in all of that. With comedic elements. I think this is a
movie
watch
that really landed in '91 for that group of men coming into their 40s and mid 40s maybe. I think that this is the kind of movie that landed for them then. Mm-hmm. So in that aspect, like the movie, it doesn't seem dated, but it is dated. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't look dated. Like
it's lost in translation.
Exactly. So I think that for the time, this movie probably resonated really well with those men like in their 40s, that were like, yeah, I feel you, man. I would love to, go and do a cattle
just be a man
run,
on a dude ranch for 2 weeks.
But that's not what resonates with people our age now in 2025. It's not what lands for people. Because I'm not thinking like, yeah, I'd like to do a cattle run. I'm thinking more like, yeah, I'd like to do a poker run on my bike or something like that. Like, or whatever
I do the cattle drive.
You do the cattle drive?
No, he would. He's a cowboy like somewhere at heart. Like
that's cool though.
I don't know how I ended up.
It looks like
this.
fun, honestly. It does. And I'd probably do it for. I don't know if I do it for 2 fucking weeks, but
he'd live there.
He'd live there. All right. Yeah.
No, can't you see him though? Couldn't you see him on a ranch?
If he didn't cut his hair off.
No,
long-haired, fucking ponytail,
fucking
cowboy hat.
Either way, I can see him on a ranch. I can just see him like out there with like horses and shit and being just happy.
Did I guilt trip him back into growing his hair back out?
He does that though. He'll shave his head and then he lets it grow and then he gets tired of it and he shaves his head and we start the whole process all over again.
That's how Dad is with his beard.
That's the way I am with my beard.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm growing it back out again.
I'm trying. I'm
Just
keeping this trimmed,
just
right
for
up
now.
here.
Just for now. But once it gets so long, you got to just let it grow. Let it all grow.
Guess we'll find out.
Just depends on how long you want it to be. Like, are you going like ZZ Top, or are you going like
Gandalf?
No.
No.
So like, if you're just gonna let it come out of here, like, still let after so long, you're gonna want that to grow out with it because it'll make it look full. Because I do the same thing. I shave it for so long until it gets so long, and then I'm like, all right, let it go, and let it all just grow. You'll figure it out. You ever grown your beard out before?
Not a full beard.
You
Like
will.
I've had this.
You'll appreciate it
like
more
the
the
chin
longer
beard.
it gets.
Like I used to be like down here,
Yeah.
and I had like straps or whatever.
The chops?
Nah, chin strap.
Oh, the chin. You did the chin strap?
Like they go like real thin, and then like
Oh,
goes into
man.
this.
You look. Was that whenever he was with
No,
you?
this was.
Oh, God.
This was
That was a
Jeremiah.
dumb
and
question.
He
and
was
years
he was
ago.
like treading on douchey territory.
Dude,
chin
I
strap.
worked with a guy that had a soul patch,
The soul patch?
Right here.
Yeah.
and he thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's like
It's not.
no.
It's not.
You know
the
what I
coolest
just
thing
thought
ever.
of? Like if you had like that kind of a haircut, you must look like Elmer from Kingdom Hospital. Yeah, the dude that had the fake head, like put the head in the locker because everybody said it looked like him, even though it didn't.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything else to say about the
Look,
movie?
I didn't
No?
even write anything down.
You're like, I fell asleep. No.
No.
All right, we're gonna review it.
Let's go, this bitch.
All right, Madison, what did you think of City Slickers from 1991?
It was alright. I will admit, if I don't like a movie, I will normally like be fighting sleep for most of the movie. But I only had to fight my sleep off for like 5 minutes in this. So it's an improvement from movies that I don't like. It was okay. I wasn't that interested in it, I'm not gonna lie.
Should have picked cool.
We're fucking almost. I'm almost 40. They are what? You're 40.
I'm 40.
He's 42, and we were
I
fighting.
I will be 40.
We'll be 42. Sorry.
In February. I will be 40.
It is
It's
February.
Oh, February 18th.
Okay.
I'll be 42.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say we are in our 40s, and we're like, even we weren't that interested.
No.
Should have picked Cool World.
Should have picked
Right,
The
yeah.
Princess Bride.
Neither of those
Can't. We
movies are
told
in the
you
90s.
Can we pick
Cool
it this
World
week?
is.
Cool World is like 92 or something.
Something like
Is
that.
it really?
92,
Oh, yeah, I guess
93.
it probably is.
We
yeah.
should pick it for this week.
Just calm down.
Okay.
Just
Anyways, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a 5 again. Like, kind of like, I think I gave whatever we watched last week a 5 too.
Okay.
Yeah. It was,
just so. Like it's not a bad movie, but
It's not
but
a
I
good
didn't
it's
like
not a
it.
good movie either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay. All right. So for me, it's not a bad movie. It's just I think it's dated in what people would expect from a midlife crisis, as you put it, or whatever. And I think that this movie, the comedy doesn't land in a lot of it. I don't mind the music. I don't mind the sets. I think the sets all look fine. The acting is fine. Daniel Stern's the shit. Always will be, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of Billy Crystal. I don't think he's funny. I'll go with Karen on this. He's funny in certain situations.
Mhm.
But aside from that, like nobody else in this movie really lands for me. I don't care about anybody else in this movie. I don't care about the midlife crisis aspect. I don't care about the cattle run. I don't care about any of it. I don't care about any of this shit. The movie was less a comedy for me and more almost a drama.
Yep.
It felt more like a drama than a comedy to me. And I was walking into this movie thinking that I was going to get like a full-blown comedy.
Mhm.
That's what I was expecting from this. And don't get me wrong, it is a comedy. It just doesn't feel like a comedy.
I
you know?
agree.
So, and it's very underwhelming. It's boring at times. It's got funny moments. But like they're almost like it almost feels forced. Like I have to force myself to like those moments even. So for me, I think I'm gonna go a 4. No, I'll give it a 4.5. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'm gonna give it a fair shake because it's not a bad movie. It's not. I don't particularly like it. I almost feel stupid for buying it, honestly, because I don't like the movie that much. Like
You can always return it.
I'm
Buy
not.
it on
I'm not. I'm
Amazon.
just gonna keep the fucking movie.
Yeah, it was fucking broke. Just smashed the case.
Smashed. It did come like not even like sometimes you get a Blu-ray and you can hear it rattling in there because it's not in its thing. And I'm like I was like, oh, here it is. I'm like, fuck you, Amazon. Fucking assholes.
Or it was returned once before already, and they just
No, it was
they
still
just
in the
threw
cellophane and everything, but like you
They
could
can
tell like
rewrap
it
it.
was like
I got-
popped out of its.
I ordered the Lord of the Rings trilogy on 4K. The first time it came, the fucking cover art was fucking ripped,
Ooh,
and one disc wouldn't stay in its tray.
that irritates the fuck
So I
out
had to
of me.
return it, and I got the second one, and the fucking disc wouldn't go back in its fucking tray, but I ended up actually getting it to stay in it, so I didn't have to return that one. I just kept
That's
it.
so
But the other
fucking
one
irritating, man.
Yeah,
Because
the
it
other
always
one-
happens with the ones that's like it's got like 4 discs in one case. Because it's got the thing in the center, and they're all just falling out, and that shit pisses me off, man. I'm like, come on, dude. Like if this scratches, it's ruined. It can't be played.
Mhm.
Like, and I take pride in taking care of my shit, so
Yeah.
it's really irritating.
Uh,
DVDs used to be really bad about that shit back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you fucking.
No,
just-
in Mississippi we had like full discs that were like scratched to like all everything, and we still watched them.
You
They
put
were
them in the
fun.
disc, like, oh god, please play the whole way through.
Yeah.
But then I've got discs that, like, what movie was it that we watched recently that skipped, and there was
Wasn't-
no scratches on
Wasn't
the
it
fucking disc.
Last week's
Alita.
podcast.
No, it wasn't that one. It was a different one. It was, I think it was the week before. What fucking movie was it we were watching?
I have no idea.
We were watching a movie, and it was one of my movies, and it fucking skipped, and it wouldn't fucking play. It was stuck in the part, and I took it out and looked at it. I was like, "There's nothing wrong with this fucking disc."
That happened to us with Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. That one that we just watched.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't find any reason.
Yeah.
But
But then I had when y'all did the Alita podcast, I bought that on 4K, and the 4K disc wouldn't play. It would play for like the first 3 minutes, but then like the next 10 minutes was just a bunch of garbled picture and fucking weird.
I have this.
sounds
I have
and-
Sunshine on Blu-ray, and I can't watch the movie without the commentary. Or is it the commentary? It's something. It won't play right and I can't figure out how to. Like, I've tried all the settings and everything. It's just the disc. Like, whatever it is in the settings with the disc plays. I think it's the commentary. It is the commentary. It plays the commentary through the whole movie, and I can't change it.
Mhm.
I cannot change it. It won't let me turn it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm not gonna fucking watch this movie with the commentary on the whole time.
No, I don't blame
That shit
you.
pisses me off. It's like, come on, man, get your shit together.
Commentary. What is that?
It's where like
directors and
the
actors
director or
will talk
actors
about
and
it.
all that they'll talk through the whole movie about the movie and things that they did.
Who watches that?
A lot of people
Yeah,
actually.
a
It's
lot of
very
people.
common.
Yeah.
It depends on like if you're a big fan of the movie, like The Goonies. Wouldn't you like to watch The Goonies where all of the kids?
Like
Not
all the
if they're gonna
cast,
not if they're gonna make psychological sex jokes about it.
they're not
No,
going.
They're
to.
not going to. I'm just saying.
They,
Like
they
you-
talk about
That's
how
how you find out a lot of background information
Yeah.
too. Like like oh, I remember when we did that. I broke my
Lord of the
toe.
Rings.
yeah, shit like that. Yeah, Lord of the
Lord of
Rings.
the Rings.
You really should watch. If you've seen it as many times as you have, you should watch The Lord of the Rings with the commentary on because you're gonna get fucking Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Peter Jackson. They're all gonna do commentary for those movies. Honestly,
think all
that
the
would be
Hobbits-
interesting to watch. Something like that.
I think all the hobbits are involved, like Pippin and all them.
Yeah.
I think it's all of them,
hmm
just not.
I would
like
watch.
Elijah
I would
Wood.
watch some. That's like I wouldn't watch a lot of movies with the commentary, but Lord of the Rings is probably.
Plus, I'm
one
saying
of
like the
them.
kind of movies that you'd watch with the commentary on are going to be movies that you
Are
that
highly
you love.
interesting.
Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can watch
yeah.
over and
Yep.
over and over again, and like now
That'd be
you're like,
like-
well, I've watched this 3,000
That'd be like her
times, I need to
watching
watch
New
this.
Nightmare with like Robert Englund and Heather Langenkamp and Wes Craven all doing the commentary. Like, why wouldn't you want to watch that? You
Because
know?
I probably know all of it anyway.
They're not going to say anything that we don't know.
No, I'd be
already
like,
know.
yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I
I
knew
knew
that.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Stop
Yeah, I
talking,
knew that.
Robert. I like this part.
Shh.
Fight
You
time.
can't shush people that are in the TV. Oh, damn. But yeah, for me, I would say I'm not gonna fault it and give it a straight 5 because there's nothing necessarily wrong with it production wise or anything, but there is. I don't like the plot problems I feel like for a movie that has this much love and admiration and fan base.
Why didn't we like it more?
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like, for a movie like that, you're expecting, at the very minimum, even if you don't like the plot, you're not expecting that there's going to be like areas of the plot that you're like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't know why they would do that, or I don't,
Yeah.
And if I've got to constantly try to figure out their motives to drive plot, then I'm not interested anymore. I just don't get it. What I did like, I liked the friendship. I felt that was very convincing.
I did like that. I did like the friendship stuff. from the
Yeah,
movie.
and I liked how he kind of took. This is one area where I will say Billy Crystal kind of nails it with the writing. He took every trope for a midlife crisis, and he put it into a character. So you don't have one man going, "Oh, I'm gonna have an affair because I'm in a miserable, loveless marriage." And also, I don't want to be monogamous anyway. Right? So you don't have all of those same tropes
and
happening.
all three of these guys really do represent
A piece
three
yeah.
main things that you see in a midlife
right.
crisis.
And you and in the end, he also shows where his kind of morals are to say, like, well, I wouldn't cheat on my wife. So none of the characters do it except for Daniel Stern,
right?
Who you don't feel bad for his wife anyway.
Right.
So I'm.
They do it in a way that you're like, okay,
I can get behind it.
I get
like,
behind it a
he
little
did it,
bit,
whatever.
yeah.
I don't give a fuck. So I'm gonna give it the 4 because I feel like there's production problems that I just
come on,
can't.
stop fucking around and give me my
I'm
cup.
not messing around.
I'm gonna smack it off your head. Give it
Just
to
keeping
you,
it warm
fucker.
for you.
Warm. Yeah, I didn't.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 4.
Sorry, I was distracted by moron
I
over
understand.
here.
I gave
If
it
you
a
didn't
4
need a
because
drink
I
so
don't.
bad.
I can't let that stuff go. I feel like for a movie of this kind of.
See, I
fan
almost gave it a 4.
No,
I was
I'm
like,
going 4 because a movie that stands at this caliber of so many people going, that movie is great.
I love that whenever we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
For a lot, because like I was watching this movie, I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, but then again, I was also thinking like, I don't think they're gonna like this movie either.
Yeah.
Like this movie is.
I kind of like when we
boring.
have differences of opinion. Like everybody is one way, and then there's one person like,
No, I loved it.
No.
This movie's
I
a
will
10er.
do that to you. That is an 11 and a half.
11 and a half.
It is an 11 and a half.
Turn the dial
11
up.
and a half. Okay. This one goes to 11. You're up. 11.
Yep, write it in.
No,
I don't have that.
What Eric give it? Eric gave it a 12.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
Mm-mm.
You
But it
know,
wasn't good.
There was a few moments where you're like, but it was nothing like, like
Yeah, like you're gonna remember it. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
forget about this movie in about 4 days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget this movie as soon as we walk out of here.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
there's that. The friendship thing is all right, you know, but I've seen it once. I've seen it twice. I'll never see it again, probably.
Probably not either. Yeah.
I mean, like earlier, I'm not gonna recommend it. I've already seen it, but
honestly, of all the movies that I could recommend people watch, this isn't on that list of movies. Like, oh, you haven't seen City Slickers? You should. Unless
not
I don't
even-
like you.
it's not happening.
It's not even in the same orbit.
Yeah, unless I don't like you, and I'm like, yeah, waste 2 hours of your life, you fuck.
But like
City
you
Slickers
said,
is the best.
Daniel Stern was probably the best character. I didn't really care for Billy Crystal's character. I'm not a huge fan of the guy.
I'm not either. See,
Honestly,
we're on the
like-
same page there.
Like, I don't wish ill will on the guy.
no,
I just
of course not.
don't
Yeah.
think he's-
I don't think he's a terrible actor or anything. Or,
Yeah, it's just
I
like
just didn't. I don't care for
everything
his-
I've seen him in is just like.
Yeah.
I remember.
I
him as
remember
much-
He's
laughing.
always just there.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
mean,
laughing
yeah.
at Billy Crystal when he would do like improv stuff. Like, what's that one thing he used to do on SNL from time to time?
host.
No, he was like he
Host.
always wore like a leisure, like one of those like ascots and like a smoking jacket.
He was part of the Five Timers Club
No,
because they
he'd
do
sit
that.
there and he'd have like a cigar. I can't remember what that was, but that I always thought was funny. But I don't remember.
I just-
Oh, you look marvelous. That's what he would always
my
say.
God.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think it was like one of those like faux talk shows or whatever.
right.
But it was really funny. I remember thinking that was really funny. but I haven't seen any clips.
Is
in
it,
a
if
really
you
long
watch it
time.
now, are you still gonna think it's funny?
I don't know. I'm just saying, but like his improv stuff, like what I seen him do with like Robin Williams and Whoopi Goldberg on Comic Relief. Growing up and watching that and seeing him do his stand up things that like are off the cuff. That was pretty funny. Kind of like when we watched John Ritter and Robin Williams doing that improv. Like, you don't realize how funny somebody is until they do improv.
Hold on, that's on a whole other level.
No, I know, but I didn't know John
Dude,
Ritter was that
shit
funny.
fucking...
Yeah, that's on a different level.
But I
of
didn't know
funny.
John Ritter was that funny on improv.
John
I'd
Ritter,
only
John
ever
Ritter's
seen,
amazing.
I know, but I'd only ever seen scripted stuff
Was.
until that point.
So was Robin Williams.
Right.
Yeah.
But I knew Robin Williams did
Was.
improv because every one of his stand-ups, if you buy, this stand-up, even though it's the same material, it's not going to be the same as this
Right.
taping, right?
Like on Broadway.
Yeah.
Robin Williams on Broadway.
Yeah.
One of the best stand-ups ever.
No shit. But I'm just
First
saying,
time
like, I
I
didn't
watched
know.
it was with her.
This
Yeah.
fucking shit's great.
I
dude.
didn't. I showed that to so many people.
Yeah.
I probably am.
That shit'll
I'm
have
probably,
you crying. You're laughing. So
I'm
hard.
probably like.
Especially the invention of golf,
the
or him
fucked
going
up
down.
stick.
Yeah, or him going down on his old lady.
Oh yeah, with the
Yeah, like
and all that hair.
yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, I had never seen John Ritter do improv before. Everything I had seen of his
Yeah,
up
John
until that
Ritter's a
point was
funny dude.
scripted. He was very
Yeah.
funny. But I'm saying that you can't really judge a comedian unless you see him do improv. If they can do improv, then they can do anything. It's just, like, what are they doing with it, I guess.
Right.
Anyway, go on.
Where was I?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
You're about to rate this bitch.
You hated it. And
I didn't
like,
hate
it.
but yeah.
You said it wasn't
love
good, but it
either.
wasn't
You
bad.
didn't like Billy Crystal.
It's just
you don't
one
like
of those
Billy Crystal.
movies that's just there. And like I said earlier, if I didn't have a chance to see it, I mean, I'm not missing out on much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, shit, I got to go.
I got to go back and watch this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I had an opportunity to watch it. I watched it. Didn't care for it. I'd probably say a 4.5.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all about on the same
Yeah.
page.
So that leaves
It's-
us at a 4.5. Like that's
This
what we're
movie
at.
is definitely on that level of how a lot of movies are nowadays. Like, it's forgettable. I'm going to forget this movie in a few days.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
it's not even, it doesn't even register on me. Like, because it's just,
I'm
it's
still
there.
interested in
There's
seeing the
nothing
second
memorable. Honestly, I bet the second one's probably better.
That's what I'm saying. I'm still interested to see the second one because
Is it in the
I
box?
remember. I don't
Because
know.
I don't even know that we registered that there was a second one.
Yeah, The Legend of Curly's Gold.
I remember liking that one. I
'Cause if
actually
it's
remember
not in the
seeing
box-
that one.
And because of how much we kind of shit on this movie, I think we should probably put the second one in the box.
I'd watch the
No,
second.
it's in there.
I've
Is it
seen
in
the
there?
second
Okay.
one. I'm pretty sure we went to the drive. Like, it was playing at a drive-in. Like a drive-in. It was like a double feature, whatever was playing. I think that was like the second movie or whatever.
Yeah, I remember seeing the second one. I
But-
remember liking the second one, but it's
I don't know.
Funny enough, everybody says that the first one's better than the second one. You should just avoid the second one and watch the first one.
Well, normally.
well, they were wrong about the first one, so
That's like I'm saying. Like, there's like a lot of 4 stars.
I'm saying that there's a lot
Shit.
of good in this movie, but it's feel good. It's not comedy, right? It's
Yeah.
like this. They're on this, team building almost adventure, and then
Right.
they find out that they really care about each other and they care about their wives or whatever, And that's all.
But it's all predictable.
But it's not just predictable. It's that that gives you the feel good feelings. But I went into this movie thinking comedy.
Right.
And I think that that's probably where a lot of our problem with it comes from. We were all thinking, "Oh, City Slickers,
I
that's
really-
hilarious."
I thought
Everybody
it was,
thinks
yeah.
it's hilarious.
I thought it was a hilarious
So we
movie.
go into it thinking we're going to get something like the first time you saw The Hangover. And that's the only one that came to mind because I remember crying seeing that first
Oh yeah,
the first
that shit
time.
was funny as fuck.
But you think, and I'm not saying it's going to have like that
Super
crass
Troopers.
humor, but you think
Right.
you're going to see City Slickers and think you're going to have that kind of
Yeah,
a
you're gonna have a
reaction
lot
to
of
it.
comedy. You got Billy Crystal and fucking Daniel Stern in here.
Yeah.
Like you're thinking, okay, well this is gonna be.
And to be blindsided but by what was almost a dramedy, let's be serious.
It was a drama.
It's not there. The comedy is like an afterthought. It's more or
Mhm.
less somebody just being sarcastic. Well, I can be sarcastic all day long. Doesn't mean my life's a comedy.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, 4.5.
I like to think my life is a joke.
Jesus.
Wow. Okay.
She must be having their midlife crisis a little early, but,
17 having a midlife crisis.
All
All right. Rotten Tomatoes, I guess.
I think the critics loved it. I'm gonna say 94. 3.
Yeah, I think the critics liked it a lot too. I don't know if it's 90 good.
I don't think it is, but I'm just gonna say 93. I was looking at
52.
It's actually the percentage that my iPad's at, so I was like, fuck it.
What'd you say?
52.
52. Holy shit. I'm
I
gonna
don't like this movie.
go. What'd you say?
93.
I'm
I
gonna
go
go,
back
I'm
out.
gonna
You
go
said
80.
90.
I'm gonna
No,
go
I said
80.
93.
I'm pretty sure you said 90.
Let's roll the tape back.
I don't wanna.
Okay.
Is that a close guess?
Is it 90
Fine,
or
then we'll go
93?
90,
would
but
like
I
to
said
change my
93.
guess.
I
Well,
promise you.
Fucking say 93 then.
Is it 93?
That's what I said.
Okay, 93.
60.
60. I think you're in the right ballpark, but I think it's in the 80s. I'm gonna go midway, 85.
For a point. Mm.
87.
87%, baby.
You should have
I
stuck
just
with that 90.
went with what my iPad said.
Oh. For
56.
for audience, 56, you think?
That's what I'm going with.
50.
I still think that people are going to like the movie. I don't think it's going to be in the 80s, more 70%.
What'd you say?
56.
Hell yeah!
You got it
65.
twice.
I got a twofer.
65%.
65%.
Wait, I was backwards. Don't I get something?
Well,
for
hold
that?
on, because I said 70.
I had dyslexia. I meant 65.
Did I say 70?
Yeah.
And she said 60. So actually, it's a tie.
No, I didn't.
I thought you
Said-
said 60.
Originally, she said like
I said
52.
I said 60 for the critics.
Oh,
and I
that's right.
said
You did.
50
Yeah,
for this
that's
one.
right. You did. Yeah. So I win.
You win.
So-
I'll
Okay,
still play
bitches.
rock, paper, scissors, though.
No.
Oh.
Because I win.
But, like, you want to play anyways?
Now the rules of this game.
There's a 2.5 star from
Jerk off.
Cease T. I think a lot of these don't have names attached to them.
We don't always read the names, usually when we just really think it's stupid.
Yeah, that's a stupid name. But this is the most recent one.
Oh,
like
okay.
January 12th from 2025.
Oh my
Oh, wow.
God.
Okay.
Idiots almost wasted that beef on lower life forms.
What the fuck?
5 out of 10. Bad. Don't cross a river while it's raining and watch Stand By Me instead.
See? Coming of age. Coming of age. But you know what you're getting into with Stand By Me. That's
Yeah.
why everybody
Stand
loves
By Me
it.
is actually a good movie, though.
But you knew what you were
You
getting
knew what
into.
you're getting into.
I think that's the biggest
Yeah.
problem we have with this movie. If somebody had told me it was a dramedy,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be so harsh about
It probably
if I'm
wouldn't
being
even be in the
honest.
box.
You probably would not be. That's
So
true.
you're like, nah, I want to watch that.
No. No thanks.
Another 2.5 star. Has a few decent moments, but generally it's way too schmaltzy, or rather full on corny. Focuses on 3 guys having a midlife crisis and supposedly finding themselves on a cattle drive. It's the 90s, so one 40-year-old guy is dating a 24-year-old underwear model, and some schlep ends up with a hot woman on a cattle drive. Ridiculous. And yeah, the film is ruined. with
You know
that
what?
kind
I
of
didn't even think about
nonsense.
those things.
That is true, though.
So 90s.
It's very 90s.
I mean,
Could you imagine like one of our 40-year-old friends getting with a 24-year-old? We're like, what is wrong with you?
all of us would be like,
Like
you're
that's
you're,
a child.
You're dating a baby.
Yeah, you're dating a child, man.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that wouldn't go over very. We would be the worst friends to have in that situation.
we totally
We'd
would. Like,
never let
dude,
it go.
she's like almost young enough to be your daughter. Like,
Wait, no, you know what would end up happening is one of us at a party is gonna get a little too lit, and she's gonna be sitting there and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get drinks. Anybody need anything? You sippy cup?
can I see your ID, please?
Yeah, yeah.
Here's a 2-star. Watch it at Melinda's. The best bit was the baby cow.
I like the baby cow.
We all like Norman. Team Norman. Yeah.
Team North. Yeah, we're all on that.
Here's a 3-star. Norman is the greatest cow in cinema history. He's awesome. A 2.5
Should do
star.
that hashtag Team Norman.
Team Norman. Team Norman the calf.
Yeah. Norman.
2.5 star. That one old cowboy guy used to scare the crap out of me.
That's fair,
He's
though.
kind of like a badass grandpa that I wish I had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had a badass grandpa, but like, I think that him as a grandpa, as like my mom's dad instead,
Mm-hmm.
would be pretty cool.
Here's a 3.5 star. I don't really remember this. I do remember the cute cow at the end, though.
Oh,
At least I think it was a cow.
It's pretty funny. Or it's like on with Norman. And what's funny about Norman is, I think it was actually just a cow. I don't think it was a.
No, there were 3, I think there was 3 calves used. One of them was the one that he birthed.
Yeah, but
I
like,
think the one that
were
he
they
birthed
cows?
was-
Were they actual cows? Or because a cow is technically a female,
Oh, that's true.
and then
But
there's
were
the
cow-
steer, which is the male.
Yeah.
So if it's a cow, it can't be called Norman.
Well, but when they're little,
Could it, though?
I mean,
calf
these
is a-
days it
Yeah,
could be.
well, I guess,
Look,
yeah.
these days it
a
could be.
calf is a calf, whether it's a boy or a girl. They don't have.
I
that
know, but like
distinction
what I'm
until-
saying is like, was it a cow or was it a steer?
I don't know. We're calling it calf.
Okay, so
There
it's
you
probably a steer. Eventually, it was going to get horns.
Wouldn't that be funny if they named him Norman and they're like,
Oh
that's
shit!
a
It's got
girl.
teats.
That's a girl.
It's Normana.
1.5 star. Don't remember it too much.
Was he drunk?
That's
Well, then
don't
why would
fucking-
you? Why
Yeah.
would you put that as a review? I
Don't remember
it.
that much.
Like nobody held a gun to your head and said, "You better put a
I
review."
guess
on
it was
site."
forgettable.
Here is a 4.5 star. Makes me as happy as a puppy with 2 peckers.
They said it in the movie. That's what the ranch owner
That's
said.
right.
He said, "Happier than a puppy with 2 packers."
Yep.
Some of his shit that he said was pretty funny though.
And then the last one is God, I hate Billy Crystal.
I don't know if hate is a good word to use. He's not a bad dude.
No.
He's not very funny.
It's just a 1.5 star.
That's
I still want to see the movie where he's
He
a
hates-
bad guy, or the show that he's a bad guy. Huh?
Yeah.
That's all I got. Like I said, most of them were, oh yeah, I remember this watching it as a kid.
Yep.
Oh, this movie was hilarious. It's just like,
Yeah. Then we watched it. Like, no, it's not.
I really thought it was going to be funny.
I did too. I was
But
kind
yeah,
of
they're
looking forward
all,
to it.
they're
That's
all-
why I didn't mind buying it on Blu-ray. Fuck it, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And then I watched. I was like, ah.
This just goes to show that you can't always rely on 95% of people liking
Right.
something. It doesn't. That's why I don't really listen to like when a movie comes out and it's getting like bad reviews or whatever. I'll watch it and I'll make up my own mind if it's something that I really, really want to see.
I'm glad it's something that we did watch though, because
Yeah,
it's
I-
something
yeah,
that I'm
definitely.
like, we don't have to like every movie.
No,
It's not what this podcast.
but I
is
always felt
about.
like this was a movie I needed to see. Or
I agree.
I always
Yeah,
thought that it was a
that's-
movie
yeah.
that I had seen and I just didn't remember.
Exactly. That's how I felt about like, well, I haven't seen it so long, or did I watch it? I don't remember.
The only
So
reason I
let's
thought
watch
that
it
though
and
was
find
because I
out.
watched the second.
Yeah,
one.
I was very interested in watching it, but now that I've watched it, I'm like, well, I can't get those 2 hours back.
Yeah,
All right.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
it will be short. Daniel Stern declined the riding lessons offered for the movie in order to better convey his character's inexperience at horse riding.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. Why would they give them? I mean, other than safety tips and
Right,
stuff
right.
like that. But like, you're
Yeah,
supposed to
that
be
seemed kinda
like
weird.
from New York. Nobody's gonna believe you
First
ride
time-
horses.
Yeah, first time doing it. Like,
Well,
I,
they
I
act
really miss
a
like you see those
professional.
movies where they have like westerns or something where there's gonna be like some city person, and this movie needed this scene where you seen them all getting on the horses, but they were doing it wrong. Like they can't, like the one guy can't
Yeah.
get on, so he's just laying on top of it,
Yeah.
and then the other guy gets on, but he goes too far and falls off. You know, like you needed that scene.
You
Where
need
was
that,
that?
shit. Yeah,
strapped
yeah,
in and he just goes,
Yeah,
whoop, and he's like,
strapped
right-
in, but
he's
I
like
think more worried
right
about getting
underneath.
pissed on.
yeah. Like the one scene with the bigger guy, one of the ice cream guys.
yeah,
The bigger guy was like, he was trying to get on. That was believable. I was like, all
yeah,
right,
yeah,
that's understandable.
yeah.
'cause
But they should have all
he's a
been
heavier
having.
set guy. He's having trouble getting up on the horse. He's
Yeah,
not experienced.
But they should have all had that scene.
yeah, exactly.
Every single one of them should have had a scene where they didn't know how to get on the horse.
and you
and
can
they
say
weren't
that
good
it's
at it.
played out, but this was 91 where it wasn't played out. So
Right, exactly.
you should have had that scene.
And I don't care. There are certain comedic things that they're never going to get played out, just like the beating somebody up and taking their clothes. Like, that's always going to be great.
Yeah.
I don't care. And the faster that they do it, the better. If
Mm-hmm.
you hear a punch and then they immediately walk out with the clothes on,
Yeah.
best thing ever. Best thing.
Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you more or less, you just gotta like scoop them into the room and then shove them out immediately, and then you walk out with the clothes.
One
on.
of the funniest scenes in a comedy to me ever, and I don't know why, but it's Scary Movie 3, when he gets thrown out of the club, physically thrown out of like a 2-story window.
Oh, George.
Yeah, he gets thrown out the window, and then he's immediately back on his feet. Like, you
He
see
lands,
him-
and then you see him pop up like,
yeah, you do. Exactly. Like, the camera doesn't move. He falls out the window, and then he gets back up. That's it. I'm done.
Oh my god, I've seen that scene before. I love it.
My favorite scene, though, is when he, like, backs up into the light, and the lights go out, and he's like,
It was
I
it
love
was in
that.
the beginning of a one of those Leon Kennedy edits on my For You page. It was like, it had a little caption in the corner. It goes, POV me falling for Leon, and then it shows him falling out of the friggin' window, and then he gets it back up immediately. He's like, alright, I'm done. And then the edit starts playing.
okie dokie.
Okay.
Leon Kennedy's a fag.
The story that Billy Crystal
I
tells
started
about...
watching Resident Evil, Infinite Darkness.
The movie?
This show.
There's a show.
There's 4 episodes.
What?
It's gonna get canceled.
It
No,
came out
it's-
in 2021.
It got canceled.
Infinite Darkness.
I'm pretty sure that's
Is
what
it
it's called.
YouTube?
Oh, the one with
thing?
Leon. Yeah. I know what you're talking
Leon
about. I watched
and
that.
Claire.
And Claire.
Yeah.
Yep. I know what you're
Like
talking
a
about.
YouTube
That's not a
thing or
bad
something?
little
The
miniseries.
next one, there's
Huh?
another one.
Is it like a YouTube?
No,
thing or
it's
something?
made from Capcom in that.
There's a.
It's
Oh,
on-
then that might actually be legit.
I don't know if it's on Netflix or what. It's a real little miniseries. It's anime. It's CGI. It's not bad.
I think the CGI is cool. I'm glad they.
I do
stuck with
too.
it.
They did the one movie. What was it? Last year, the year before, and that's on Netflix also. And it's got Jill, Claire, and Leon all in. I think Chris is even in it too.
Yeah, Infinite Darkness.
But
What is the other one?
that shit right there is good for.
But is
Resident Evil.
Barry in it? That's
I know that they're talking about Resident Evil 9 or is it 9? Yeah, 9 is going to have just Jill and Leon in it.
I'm gonna watch Death
And it's going to
Island
be
next.
the same kind of game as Resident Evil 2 was, where you could play through the game as either one. So, or you could play through as both, whatever you want to do.
I think when
Death-
they stepped away from the puzzles and that horror
I
element.
miss, and I guess it's also going to be you can choose between first or third person.
Oh, okay.
I'm always third person with Resident Evil. I
Mhm.
love third person
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
Death
Uh,
Island is the movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, that's my next watch.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's only like an hour long.
It's an hour and a half.
Oh, is it?
The story that Billy Crystal tells about his best day of going to a Yankees game with his father is a true story from his childhood. He notes at one point that I still have the program. Not only does he really still have it, but he got Mickey Mantle to autograph it twice. Once at the game that day, and once again some 20 years later on a talk show that they were both guests on.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Rick Moranis was cast along Billy Crystal and Bruno Kirby in a major role, but left the project because that was when his wife was diagnosed with cancer. As a rule, Jack Palance did not watch his own movies, thus he did not see this movie until after he won the Oscar for it. This movie won Oscars, yo.
So okay, so the guy what's the guy with the mustache? What's his
Rick.
name?
What's his face?
Bruno,
Bruno Kirby?
Yeah.
yeah,
So that part where he said about the day that his dad left,
yeah.
he said that was the best day of my life, and then
And
it
the
said
worst day.
they were like, "Well, what was your worst day?" He's like, "The same day."
Yeah.
Like that's where I was like, "Dude, this is a fucking drama."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but
yeah,
Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It was good,
yeah.
and I liked that little scene there with him, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that really just
That's what I'm saying.
showed
like,
his
that-
personality and showed his
that's,
character."
That's what I'm saying. If we had had more of a real representation of what this movie was going into it, I don't think we'd
Especially
be so,
after 30 fucking years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that I would be so shitty about it.
Yeah.
If I was prepared to sit down and watch a more dramatic comedy, I could have probably swallowed that pill a lot easier.
Yep, I agree.
Bruno Kirby, right there, was extremely allergic to horses. Prior to each day of filming involving a horse, he required an injection of allergy medication to get through the day's shooting. Billy actually delivered the calf. 3 pregnant cows were on hand in case retakes were needed. The scene is one of the favorites of any he's had to do, and since then he's never eaten veal.
That's cool, though.
Mhm.
I'm glad that he actually, because he looked like he was all in for it when
Mhm.
doing the scene. Like, I was thinking that too. Like, I was like, that's definitely a real cow. Like,
Yeah.
there's no, like, there's no way they had the budget for that.
Right.
So I was like, that's definitely a real cow giving birth. And then he's like covering all of it, and like he didn't seem like he was shy about it at all. Just seemed like he was all for it.
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, good for you, dude. Like,
How does that work though?
What do you mean?
Like they had 3 on hand.
In case they had to retake, like if the first take didn't take, they had 2 other cows
that were pregnant
that were
and
pregnant
ready to
just
give
in
birth.
case.
Like, do you just hold off and wait for
Yeah,
the
you
cow,
just-
or
you-
do you just like?
They know that they're close, or that they're gonna get, like so, and they know like it's not like a woman. It's just like how in movies where they say like, oh, my water broke, and 5 minutes later there's a baby in their arms. It's the same way with cows or anything else. They're gonna see the signs and know when they're close. And that scene, they probably cut it. It was probably rolling for
it was-
like a
and
good
I'm
hour.
sure that like he wasn't sitting by like, hey, that scene didn't work for this cow. Bring in the next pregnant one.
No, they
It
got
was-
it in one take.
Well, I'm saying like,
yeah.
I'm sure that if it had been like, well, this one's not quite ready, it might be a few hours or a day or something like that before she's actually ready to give birth, before we can actually shoot the scene with the next cow.
Right, and you got to remember they're going to
So-
splice stuff together. So like they can splice, maybe, oh, she's giving birth, and then the next thing you know, you're on the ground with the cow. That could have been a week in between or whatever.
Yeah, he could have been
You know
shooting
what I mean?
that scene. He might have went into that scene thinking, well, we might be here for a while, or at least a few days to a week or whatever. I'm sure that they know approximately. And then there are so many cows in America that I'm sure it wasn't hard to find a pregnant one. So
Yeah.
fair
So
point.
yeah, that's how they would have done that, I would imagine. Let's see.
could you imagine sending out that like post like looking for pregnant cows?
We need pregnant ones.
We need pregnant ones.
That one's too
We
skinny.
will pay Pretty Penny.
Daniel Stern enjoyed the City Slickers experience so much that he later bought a 500-acre cattle ranch. Clint Eastwood was considered for the role of Curly, but wanted way more money than the budget could afford. Robin Williams was
would have made
considered...
the movie better. Just saying.
Robin Williams was considered... I kind of liked
I like the guy. Yeah,
And
he
the
was-
reason is because he can convincingly seem like, I will kill you, but when he smiles, it's in his eyes,
That's
too.
true, but it's
Whereas Clint Eastwood's
Clint
just
Eastwood.
mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but there's no...
And we've never really
Curly-
seen him in a good comedy. You know what I mean? Like, so like bringing him in probably would have added star power to the movie. It would have
Wait.
boosted the movie.
He was in Casper for about 5 seconds.
Clint Eastwood was.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
You don't remember that? When they started making his face morph, and he turned into like Mel Gibson, and he's like, ooh. And then it turns into the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember.
Somebody
that.
called in some favors on that one.
Oh, that was great, though. That movie, I don't care. Casper is
love
definitely one of my
Casper.
favorite childhood movies. I would
Yeah,
watch
it's a
that
good
over and
movie.
over again. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
it.
we didn't care
It
what
is a
time of
great
year
movie.
it was for that one.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Casper is the shit though.
Christmas, good for it. Put it on. Clint Eastwood was considered for the role. Okay, yeah, we did that. But wanted way more than. But Robin Williams was considered for the role of either Mitch Robbins, Phil Berquist, or Ed Ferrilio, but was already committed to Hook. That's one we could have watched.
Oh, Hook is a good movie though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Each actor did their own stunts. The characters Ira and Barry were inspired by real-life ice cream entrepreneurs Ben and Jerry. In a 2015 Reddit AMA, the real-life duo revealed that that most people assume it was really them in the film. They added that in real life, they can't recommend the perfect ice cream for any meal. That was a kind of a funny scene,
It
too.
was kind of funny, yeah.
The movie's title did not easily translate into foreign languages. In France, it was called La Vie, l'amour, les vaches. Literally, life, love, and cows. And in Italy, it was Scapo dal... I'm sorry, I don't speak any of these in English. Scapo dalla Città, la vita, l'amor.
Living
Il
la
est
vita
vache.
loca.
That
Sorry.
translated would sound, I ran away from the city, life, love, and cows.
Oh my god.
In Greece...
So you ran away from the city to make love to a cow?
That's what it sounds like. In Greece, it was T. Ekanes babastin agria disi, which means, so what did you do in the far west, Dad?
What the fuck?
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, there's that. Oh, he's got it. Hold on.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
He's like, I know that one.
I know this one.
Am I just picking this week, or are we doing?
Yeah, we're just gonna pick.
Let me pick.
Oh,
Hey,
No.
Come on over.
Just hand me a handful of them.
oh, Oh my.
No, you can't do that.
You gotta put your
I-
hand in the
I
box.
ain't actually ever picked.
Put
That's
your
what I'm saying,
hand
go
in the
nuts.
box.
There ain't that many in there, it looks
There's a lot in there. You'd be surprised.
like. Oh, yeah, doubles and shit.
He ain't even looking. He's like closing his eyes.
Texas Chainsaw.
Is it?
No,
Oh.
the Evil Dead series.
Yes.
You gotta try again, because didn't we decide we were doing that for a specialty?
No, it's
or-
Evil Dead.
Oh,
No.
no, okay.
The Evil Dead series.
Yeah, it's one of.
It's one of the series, one of the movies from the series.
Yeah.
So this would be Evil. So we already did Evil Dead Rise.
This is
So this would be
three.
the remake.
Or is this?
This is the
Well, no,
Evil
this
Dead
would
remake.
Start.
Is
This
it
would start.
really?
We've never done Evil Dead. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did
you did.
Rise.
Yeah, we did.
We did We did the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done 1,
Oh,
2.
that's right. You're right.
and
you're right,
Army
you're
of
right,
Darkness.
You're right. You're
So
right.
it's either the remake or I draw something else.
It's the remake.
Yeah, it's the remake.
Remake?
Yeah.
This is unfortunate.
Why?
Aw.
Because I'm not on it.
Oh.
Call in a favor.
No, I love this one.
It's
Tell
a really
Eric
good
to
fucking
back
remake.
up.
It's a really good remake.
Just tell Eric to back up.
Say,
Nah.
sorry, Eric, you're off another week, bud.
Your fucking points are transferring over to me.
I'm taking those vacation days from you. All right, so next week we're gonna do.
Was that
Evil-
2013?
Yeah.
I think it was 2013. Yeah,
Yeah,
Evil
yeah,
Dead
it
from
was.
2013.
Is it
I think this is-
streaming anywhere?
We own it.
I own it. Yeah,
Yeah, we got it on 4K.
but we need to know for you guys.
Oh,
I'll tell you.
I forgot you guys were here.
Jesus.
Wow.
What?
See, this is why you should hate her.
Don't hate me. I'm serving your country for you. Kinda.
Not yet.
Technically I'm already under contract, so.
Sure. Okay, so you cannot stream it anywhere, but you can rent it on Amazon, Apple, Google Play, all that stuff.
YouTube. Fandango,
Yeah, YouTube.
Spectrum.
Yep. So that sucks. Hopefully you have seen it, or you can stream it, or you own it, or you can rent it. But aside from that, next week we're going to do Evil Dead from 2013, and this movie is extremely good.
Wait, are the spiders in Chicago big?
Yes. No.
And Texas?
As big as
No.
your head.
Texas is a different story. I don't know.
Australia.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Do they have scorpions in Texas?
Yeah.
Certain
Yeah,
parts
they
of
do.
Texas.
Certain parts.
There was
You
a
guys, I don't
scorpion
want to
in
leave
the-
Ohio.
There was a
I'm
scorpion
afraid
in
to
the
not,
eye.
but,
You'll be fine.
you already signed a contract. They'll come
Yeah.
find you.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, next week we're going to do Evil Dead from 2013. Don't forget about the photos. Check that shit out down there in the description, all that good stuff. Hopefully, I don't know if Jeremiah's going to do it next week or if Eric will be here. Eric's going to hear like, no, Jeremiah can do it. That's what he's going to say. He can do it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't
Maybe.
think
He
Eric
likes Evil Dead.
actually likes us.
He likes Evil Dead.
Who, Eric? Yeah.
Well,
does.
he likes Army of Darkness.
Yeah, Army. Well, because it's so slapsticky. Because we already did Rise.
Yeah,
We did that
when
when
it
it came
goddamn
out.
terrible.
I didn't think it was terrible.
No, it was fucking god awful.
I didn't think it was god awful.
No, it was god awful.
This is what
you're
I
not
have to
gonna
do.
fucking change my
Yeah.
mind.
Wait, Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah,
The
that
one in
was
the
the
apartment.
worst
One in the
piece of
apartment.
horse shit
We
ever.
did that one already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like forever ago. yeah.
When it came out,
We
we
did it before.
I think
any
it-
of
yeah,
the
when it
others.
came
Oh,
out,
yeah.
yeah.
You're right.
I think this is
I
the
liked
last
that
one we
one.
have
Yeah,
of
it
the
is.
Evil Dead
It is.
series.
Thank fucking God we don't have to watch that piece of shit again.
Oh my god.
If that was the next one in the fucking. Ooh.
Oh my god.
He wouldn't want to be here
I don't know. I'd be here.
You
I'll
gotta
be
let
here
that shit go,
to
man.
tell
You're
you
gonna
how
have a heart
shitty
attack.
the movie
I'm
is.
fine.
It's
I'm not gonna have a heart attack over it.
You're over here, like, getting all
You're
up
getting
in arms.
little. I can feel the fumes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I liked it.
If there
I didn't
was
care for it either.
one
I liked
copy
it.
of
I'm
it
not gonna
left,
have a
liked
heart
Evil
attack
Dead
over
Rise.
it.
and then we could preserve it.
You what?
I liked Evil Dead Rise.
I liked it.
Says the two have been arguing over a fucking box the entire podcast.
A
He
table.
dropped it.
Oh, a
that
table.
was
Get it right,
on
it was a
him.
table.
That was a box.
It was a table.
Whatever.
never called it
Semantics,
a
my
box.
friend.
We never called it a box.
Whatever's sitting there.
Nothing yet. It's not
Well,
there yet.
I said whatever is sitting.
It's gonna be. It's a table.
Gonna sit there.
Whatever is sitting.
Well,
there.
technically, it was a chest that I turned into a table.
So a chest would be technically a box.
Well,
I think
He's
you're
not
That is a
wrong.
box.
He's not wrong.
that's a chest.
No, that's a box.
So,
this is a table.
Karen, you have a box on your.
This is a table. That is a box.
No, I have a toy. Log.
No, you have a box.
No.
No, that can
Because
make.
silicone parts.
I'm
would
talking
make
about your
it.
chest.
It's
Oh.
heavy. It's. Oh.
Get it? Because yeah.
That's not even a thing. That's not even what the rep. That's not a box. It's not the slang term for a box.
I think that's the hoo-ha, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently you have a pussy.
Well, no. Hold on. It's not only that, but it's also your poop chute because sometimes they call that a box. Haven't you ever heard of tongue punching, the fart box?
No, that's a fart box.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a box though. It's a fart box.
You guys are
You don't
like.
call the vagina.
Why?
Fucking
Why?
fart box.
How
You
did
call
a
that a
vagina?
queef box?
But how did a vagina become like slang?
You guys,
like, how did it
Dad
become
dropped
a
the
box?
table. Let's now drop the
See,
subject.
table.
You s-
Table.
you
Well,
said
this isn't a box though.
No, I'm saying earlier it was a box, a
No,
chest,
you said box.
a box, and then she said table.
I think he's
Really,
trying
it
to
falls-
gaslight
it
us.
falls in the category of all three.
He's
really.
gaslighting us. I think.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not
if you
gonna
have to
work.
say
And
that
he
out
does.
loud, then
He
he's
does
not.
gaslight like a motherfucker.
Fuck
So
you.
don't let him. You.
See that? She called it a table. You said it was a box. It is a box, but it's a table too.
I don't gaslight.
You do.
When?
Right now.
Right now.
Actually, I did gaslight somebody once for like months
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my
He's still on fire.
because it was hilarious. Because I started singing something.
He was on fire. It's hilarious.
No.
He had one lady convinced that he had a goat.
No, that's not even what I'm
backyard
talking
tied to
about.
A tree.
Oh my god.
That okay twice.
Okay, twice.
See
I
how
had
the
a bunch
story
of, like-
changes?
like years and years and years ago, probably when I was like between 18 and 20, I convinced these two women that I had a goat tied to a
That's-
tree in my parents' backyard, and how I mowed the grass was I just let the goat go to eat the grass, and then my mom butted in and pretty
ruined
much
it?
told them to tell me to fuck off because that wasn't the thing. And then the second time, it was some chick I worked with, and I said something, and she's like, "Did you just say that?" And I'm like, "No."
No.
Like,
No.
well, and then like a couple days later, I said the same thing. She's like, "I knew you said it." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" She's like, "I just heard it." I'm like, "What did you just hear?" She's like, "I know what I heard." And it's like,
I didn't
okay.
say anything.
Yeah.
That's the shit he does to me
But,
all the time. He'll be
like,
like,
It went
that's not
on
a
for
thing.
like a month.
That's
or
because
so.
Jeremiah's good at keeping on a straight face.
Yeah, but the thing is that he can't fool me, and he should know that by now. I'm like the only person he can't gaslight.
Yeah, but he keeps a straight. He'll tell you some bullshit and keep a straight face the whole time.
Uh-huh.
He knows that he's like, if I smile, I'm gonna give it all away.
It wouldn't
So,
matter.
I gotta look
he
super serious.
He knows damn well, like, because there will be times he'll walk up to me, serious as like, I'll get out. He'll tell me something, and it could be believable, and I'll be like, shut the fuck up. And he's like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I know. You're
I
full
do
of
that
shit.
to Crystal sometimes though too. I'm like, I'll tell her something and she'll like believe me. I'm like, what are you? And then she'll get mad at me because I was fucking with her. Like, hold on, it was a joke. She's like, yeah, but it's not fucking funny. It's like not funny to you,
Yeah, but to everybody else.
but to everybody else, it was fucking hilarious.
He can
Like-
try to gaslight me all day long, but I scare the shit out of him. Like, I'll be so quiet, and he'll come out of the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't do that shit.
Oh,
Like,
you
I've
need to
done
make
it
a
twice.
compilation of that.
All right. Next week, everybody, go. Oh shit, go watch. What movie?
Evil
Evil Dead.
Dead.
Sorry,
Remake.
the remake from
Remake.
2013. Yeah. So have fun with that. Bye.
Goodbye.
Fuck this.